Oh, it's working.
Oh,
Is it
Cool.
working? Is it gonna work?
We're testing.
wow, crashed.
Oh,
But
Oh my god.
You have a
Oh,
different webcam by chance?
No, it's the same one. It's
wow,
the
Flaw, I miss you, man. I haven't heard
Can
your
you
voice for a long time.
Dude.
Can you try plugging it into a different? Jesus Christ, Brian!
Yeah.
What? It's a good picture. Fuck.
Now I have to go on the podcast
oh
and check it out.
no, not that picture.
Now I have to go on the podcast.
Fucking gold. You don't need no fucking cam, dude. Got you, dude.
Jesus Christ!
Got you. You don't need no
Oh,
fucking cam,
that's-
dude.
Good
Alright.
times.
Anyways, thank you for joining me, man. It's good to have you back. I've always enjoyed your insight and the way your mind works. So it's good to have you back here to kind of discuss and talk on this podcast. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
you were on this before a long time ago, right? A long time.
I was
ago,
what?
right? Did you ever join the podcast? You were on the podcast before, right?
Yeah.
Like-
It was a while ago.
Towards the beginning, I think when we first started it, you were one of the first people like on these podcasts. So it'd be nice to get some fresh insight. So let's go ahead and get right into the topics for the day. First topic here today is going to be similar to kind of what we talked about last week, but let's just get right into it. Topic number one. Let's talk about Calibria again. Let's talk about Calibria, and in general, let's talk about some other mobile games as well, because I think this is a really good topic and something that we can discuss. What are the aspects of these games that are good and are bad? Because we have a lot of people in our community, from the Summoners War community, playing all sorts of games, right? They're playing Summoners War, but they're playing all these other games. Epic 7, Arc Knights, 7 Deadly Sins just came out. Calibria has been kind of hype as well recently. What are the pros and cons of it? Because at the end of the day, we can take these ideas and, maybe these games can hear it out and improve in specific comp to us, right? They can get these ideas and maybe use them and improve their own game, right? And we can see things that'll benefit us as players in Summoners War. So I know that you've been playing Calibria quite a lot. What is your insight on the game? I'd like to hear some more about it, since I heard you're like top guy there and you've invested a lot of time into it recently.
So Calibria is pretty much a Summoners War clone. Like it's pretty much exactly like Summoners War, except a little bit of changes. Like there's a lot of bad quality of life stuff that Summoners War has. I mean, like Summoners War's got a lot more quality of life stuff than Calibria. But Calibria, like every unit is a home.
You robot it up. Repeat the
He's
last
trying to say
couple words.
homunculus.
Oh my bad. Okay.
No, it happens.
So there's some things that what sold me to Calibria was that there's rune removal, free rune removal all the time.
Okay.
1 sec. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Take your time.
He said every unit's like a
Oh,
homunculus. That's
okay.
what he was trying to say.
There's somebody
Skill
here
tree
that
stuff.
wants be right back. 30 seconds. Be right
Yeah,
back.
go ahead. So we can talk a little bit while he's returning. We'll pause him on there. But
Hey, I'm on the podcast right now. I actually read someone. He asked if my wife came from Binghamton, and she did. How does he know? Okay, all right, never mind. But yes, she did. Yeah.
Monka S.
Monka.
Monka S. Monka S.
Yo,
is
look at the
great.
camera.
Maybe
Look at the
they're all-
cameras for the Discord.
It's all
man.
blurry,
Discord,
isn't it?
Yeah, Discord's taking a poop. Let me
Yeah.
try to change the region real quick. Sometimes when we change the region, it gets a little bit better. So I'm gonna go to US Central, see if that makes it a little bit better for now. Yeah, that did fix it.
There we go.
There we go. So that fixed it a little bit, but it's all in Discord. I don't know why. All right. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about some of the games. I know, Tyler, you play E7. Have any of you guys tried any other games like Arc Knights or anything like that? And
Yeah, I play Arc Knights a lot.
okay, so what are some aspects of there? I know it's more of a PvE game, right? But
Arc Knights is strictly PvE. The best
Okay.
part about the game is that there's no PvP, which means there's no the feeling of falling behind doesn't necessarily exist because there's no like catching up. There's no falling behind, right? You can take the game at your own pace. You can do whatever you want. One of the really cool things about the game there is all of the 3, 4, and star units, etc., are like really, really good. And then all the 5 and 6 stars are just like better, right? But the thing is, like, because all the 3 and 4 stars are good, you never feel like you can't play the game without like spending money.
I see. So there,
I think it's really nice to have one, and people always say this, but they're like, no PvP games. Oh my god, it's like it's nice to have one casual game where it's like either no PvP or it's like a collector's game, because it just gives you something else that's totally different to do, and you can kind of just like turn your mind off and play the game.
right.
Although with Arc Knights you can't necessarily turn your mind off, because the difficulty scaling for the game is actually quite high. which is fun. Once you clear the content, you don't need to like necessarily do it again, but it is fun.
So it's a one-time manual, and then you can just repeat the stage with
It's
the
a one-time
resources.
manual. If you full clear it on a perfect clear, then you can auto deploy the second run.
I see.
And then the auto thing will replicate exactly what you did
I see.
when you place it.
Gotcha. What were you gonna say, Lucky? You're gonna say something?
No, I haven't tried Ark Knights yet, so I found it really interesting that it's only PvE. I've only seen little bits of it,
Right.
but yeah, so I can't really comment on that one. The only other game I've played really is E7.
Okay.
Um,
What are your thoughts on that? And what did you like?
But
that were different?
I only got into the start of it, so I was one of those that ended up re-rolling for about a week or two. I didn't mind that aspect of re-rolling, and that was fine. That was as you would expect. Got a couple good units, and then got to the point where it became strictly dungeon farming and side story farming. I didn't mind the aspect of side stories, but like when I got to the point of just being able to like having to dungeon farm is where it kind of pulled me back. Only on the basis that it became very similar to Summoner's War, and I couldn't really grind both games at the same time. So that's when I made the decision just to stick with Summoner's War and kind of leave my E7 account where it was. But I really enjoyed E7. I really liked the the graphics behind it. The way the side stories really worked. They were all really fun aspects, and you could play that really free to play as well. You didn't have to drop a dime to be able to get anywhere.
Yeah,
like early on. I don't know what it's like end game, but like early on, it's like if you're smart with your pay to win currency, you can actually get pretty far into it.
Yeah, the game's a lot nicer now. I'm still playing it quite a bit. It was definitely more pay to win heavy in terms of just being able to play the game before after you get towards the middle stages of the game. But it's a lot better now, definitely. But some aspect of both of those games that interests me is, do you think Summoners War should try to improve their graphics and try to change more of their graphics? Because some of these new games are coming up with fresh stuff, right? Technology is only improving. The want of the community, the want from the players is always going to get more and more. It's more and more hungry, right? For better graphics, better gameplay as well, but better graphics. Do you think they should do a rehaul or revamp on some of their even basic dungeons that they have in Summoners War?
No.
No?
I think it's fun the way it is. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So
I think
like it
Giants
because-
do a remaster, right? The Giants and Dragon dungeons are so they look so plain compared to all the new transmog.
Right.
They
I
probably don't
I don't
need
think
it.
I don't think it's worth the time and the money that they put into it.
Ah,
There's
I didn't
better
think
things
about
they
that.
can do.
lot of time and money though?
Yes. There's a lot better resource. There's a better things you can dedicate your resources to.
Allocate
like
your
actually
resources. I don't
improving
know.
the game.
Yeah, but the Giants and Dragons are a little outdated compared to all the new transmogs.
No, that's true. If we saw some new boss animations or some new boss
Yeah.
graphics, I don't think it would.
They
break
should
the
just
game.
take all that off. Like instead of giving you an option to take it off, they should just take it off. The
Some
boss
people like
anime.
it. Some people. It's just the principle having it, I guess. I don't know.
I guess the argument.
No one likes it. I'll tell you that. No one in the world has it on.
I think some people have it on, but it's like beginners.
Nope,
It kind of
no one
draws
in
you
the
into the
world has it
game,
on,
right? At the beginning.
You tell me who has it on in their
Uh,
settings,
The guy who just downloaded it 5 seconds ago has it on.
and they'll turn it off in 1 second. Yeah.
When they realize it, how many of you guys out there have played the game and didn't even realize you could take away that boss animation for a long
Oh
time?
my
I
God.
had it on for a long time because I didn't know.
Cancer.
Yeah, I didn't know for a long time.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be there.
Anyways, I think Fall is back, so let's go back into the Calibria discussion here. Tell us more of what drew you into the game, what you liked about it, because I want to hear all these good aspects, pros and cons.
All right, so Calibria, it's 24/7 free room removal. That's kind of what sold me. When I was watching one of Jubeg's videos talking about the game, that's what kind of drew me in, because I spent pretty much 70% of all the mana that I made in Summers were just moving my runes around, for arena rush and then moving back. That costs 3 mil, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of what drew me in first. And then the other thing was that each unit is a homunculus. So one unit, it's kind of like a Zeros, and you could kind of change the homunculus skills into being a Leo, and then you could even change it to being a Celia. That's all in one unit. You swap the skills depending on what you want her to do.
Damn.
So it's really nice, that part. What else?
So
Nice
no
one.
I like
cost
the
to
unit
change.
you're talking about. We need some of that. A Zyros that
know.
can turn into a Leo. Whoa.
So the unit
mean-
the unit can change the stats. Every unit is a homunculus then, basically.
Yeah. You pick it before you go into battle. You don't change it during battle, but yeah, you pick it before you go into battle.
Interesting. Now, is that? Do you think that's a little bit too complicated though? Like in the long run, like it
Not
might
at
be-
all.
Not at all.
Because
I
for
feel
me,
overwhelmed by just thinking about
okay,
it.
so it's more complicated, but like for people who are thinkers, like it brings out a lot more like strategies and just makes the game more, more fun, more IQ required in a way.
Okay.
Do you like being able to see enemy stats? Do you
Oh, I
think
heard about
that's
that.
a good or a bad thing?
Oh, that's like dumb. I mean, I don't even know if that's even in the game. Okay, so chat, like in the game, during arena, you can look at other units' stats and what skills they have. Like you can just click on their units.
I can understand
Like,
looking at
you-
the skills because, like, if everything's a homunculus, right? Like, knowing what things do might be important.
I
But, like,
disagree.
why can you see people's stats? That just seems dumb.
I disagree on both. Like you shouldn't be able to see their skill sets and their stats because that just makes it not fun. You want it to be kind of surprising. You want arena defense that kind of tricks them. You don't know, you don't know what they're gonna do because one could be a Zeros or one could be a Leo. I mean, that same unit could be a Zeros or a Leo. You're not sure.
I
Or it
think
could be
when it comes to
Celia.
like PvP, like when it comes to that AI, like you fighting an AI, that could be fine. But I think if it ever got to the point where it was like RTA, that visibility would be nice to have. But I think
I
you're
don't
right. Like
know.
I like the fact of it being like the uncertainty leading to an arena defense fight where you can't see the skills or the stats would be nicer. But yeah, an RTA would be good to see visibility if they went down the RTA route, which I assume they will eventually.
I'm kind of on the side of no, you can see the skills, but not like the stats in a way where it like right now it's kind of cool that you go into RTA and there's monsters like on revenge, despair, and the other people don't know, and all of a sudden it gets you, right?
Right.
But once you like, if you could see the opponents on like, oh, violent will or despair or revenge, if you could see that, that takes a strategy element out of like Summoner's War. That's crazy. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Like
kind of next level.
if you know Verd's on revenge, then you're not going to hit it, kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
there's no strategy if you know the Verd's not on revenge. Everyone just hits it. Verd just dies.
Yeah, but in terms of like knowing the skills, I mean, not being able to know the skills. Maybe that's the reason why Summoner's War doesn't have homunculuses inside of their RTAs, right? It's because of that fact.
Yeah,
right?
I
Because
don't
it's
like
too
knowing the
complicated, right?
skills. I like having the skills if it's the homunculus, they have to have the skills show, because like you're going to the battle strategically trying to counter that unit with that certain amount of skill, and that takes skill, like kind of rock paper scissors. Imagine you play rock paper scissors, you don't know what they're putting out.
But do you think
Right.
it's too hard
It's-
though? Because you're drafting, and how would you be able to read
It's-
and know exactly that's what it
It would
is?
just take,
instantly?
it would just take a
Okay,
long
so
time.
so
I'm just saying, I like to
I think that
know
you guys are
which skill I'm going into, but not the stats or
Okay.
runes.
So it's not as complicated as the homunculus. There's only like 2 other skills that the unit could have.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like 6 different skills that they could pick from.
Is it?
the
It's
second
framed in the
skill?
same way where you have a skill 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yep.
And then so skill 1's the fixed one, and then
Yep.
there's an option for skill 2 and for skill 3.
Yep. There's typically one other option for skill 2, and then there's 3 other options for skill 3.
So skill
But the
3
only
can-
skill that matters is skill 3s.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 too, but yeah, mainly it's 3. That's kind of
And-
so.
And how do you activate these stats? You have to. I heard you have to have something like a dupe, and then once you get one dupe, you
Oh
activate it,
no,
or do you need
no.
multiple dupes?
no. You just activate it through just leveling them up, and then they just activate it.
Oh,
The
interesting.
dupe, yeah, the dupe is a
Would you
completely
guys feel
different concept.
retarded if you guys bring in like Hathor and you guys are playing against Hathor? So you guys bring in like maybe like a Juno, maybe a Rakuni or a Muni to counter Hathor. All of a sudden, it's not Hathor. The Hathor's a Zyros, and you're getting cleaved. Oh my god! Like, whoa! I can't imagine that. You know?
Okay, I mean you might be right, but I guess I'll just have to kind of we'll have to kind of find out like once there's actually RTA, if it's if
It's
it's
far
too
from that, though. It's
crazy
far from
to
that.
have it hidden.
Okay. I don't play the game, but I just know being able to like not knowing the skill is a big problem. You know?
That'd be fun for me.
I have a question
just
for you, Paula.
because- I mean,
like it'll still be fun because you don't know like the rune set. you know, or the stats. That's what's, you know, not fun, right?
I mean, it just comes with experience, you know. It's the same thing as like you fighting like ragdoll for the first time or whatever. Like you don't really know what it does, but you just kind of know. I mean, like you could just look at the cap. You could just kind of know what it's going to be like through experience. Like it's not gonna be that complicated over experience.
Over time, as you're playing the game
Yeah.
longer and longer. Okay.
It's like when units came out, like for example, we didn't use Hathor or Molong for the first like 6 to something months because we didn't really know how to use them or what they did. It's the same concept.
Right.
It just takes
Yeah, I'm
time.
just saying it's a big
People
deal
need to
if,
use
like,
these units.
If
before they-
Ragdoll's move is like attack bar boost or amputation magic, you know, it's like, whoa, I'm getting amputation magic by a, you know, Ragdoll.
Right.
Or you can bring the same comp.
Yeah, that's true. Because if it has too many different variations, right? Because it sounds like the variations and skills are so drastic, it completely changes the unit, right?
When
Which
you're
can be good and
picking or
bad.
counter banning or picking or banning or pre-banning, it just all throws you off. It's not skill required almost, right?
So I guess like the question I'm wondering is like, is it difficult or viable to like get all of these different unlocks for your skills?
I mean, it's pretty much gonna be unlocked like right away. Oh, what's the question exactly?
So you said there's 3 skill options for skill 3, or 3
Uh-huh.
extra skill options for skill 3, and there's an extra skill option for skill 2. So do they have like the same skill ups as like your base skill? Do you just get them from like
no.
leveling up and stuff?
It's completely different skill ups, but I mean they're pretty much unlocked like right away. You just pick whatever you want.
Because
so
I don't
yeah,
understand.
the
I don't
skill-ups.
actually know what the skill up system is, but I remember people. I think it was like 2 days ago. They came in my chat. They were like, "Calibria skill up system is really, really a pain in the ass." And I didn't know what to say because I had no idea.
Oh, that's because like each unit requires like freaking 30 Devilmons if you wanna skill the other skill set you wanna use on it. But if you just have like the 3 main skill,
individual skill is.
I like
Yeah.
that though. Coming from like a Diablo background, I love skill tree and investing skill points in a move and doing all of that fun stuff. I love that kind of concept.
That's interesting. That's very
Nedge in
interesting.
chat saying you can pick what skill you skill up though with the
Oh,
Devilmon
that's nice.
equivalent.
That's
though.
actually
no,
good.
that
you
the
can't
case?
pick. You can
You
only
can't. It's
pick
random.
the 3 on the top. Those you can only pick
Oh, so then
the
it
3 main
randomizes.
ones. Yeah, the other ones, yeah, you could pick which one you want to upgrade for the second and third skill. But once you put the Devilmon in, it goes in between slot 1, 2, or 3. The same way as
I
like
see.
Ah, got you.
But basically, let's say I got my slot skill 1 and 2 already maxed, right? If I can
Mhm.
change whatever I want for my slot 3, and it'll just guaranteed max it, right? Technically. So
Yep.
there is a slight
Correct.
strategy to maxing it in that
Correct.
sense. Interesting. Very interesting.
The real question is, what could Summoner's War do to get you back to playing Summoner's War for?
they could like re-roll all of these servers back to before the re-apps came out, and then take out the re-apps.
He's not
And
coming back,
then-
guys. He's gone.
and then
not
It's
coming
confirmed.
back, yeah.
that
And then I'm
statement
back.
just confirmed. It
I'm
never
back.
happened.
Free rule removal every day.
No, because I mean, there's just no point. Like because, okay, so for me, what I would love in like these kind of games, it's the gap between pay to win and free to play to be low. In some ways, where the pay to win gap between free to play players are are freaking huge.
You can
Like
swear. You can swear. I
you
don't
know,
mind, as long as you're
yeah.
happy, yeah.
It's gotten
it's
so much
insanely
worse
huge.
since the re-ups came out.
That's so much.
Yeah.
Like just the re-ups, it made like Barian, who's farmed insane for like the first 2-3 years or whatever. It made like all those years of farming, like people caught up with him in 2 months, 2-3 months. Just
Especially
re-up.
the re-app bug that first came out, you know, like Tomato's account, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
amazing
Yeah,
because
I
of that.
remember
You
when I
know,
talked about
and
that.
you won that first SWC. It's like,
Okay,
oh
let me
man,
ask
so
this.
salty.
Do you think if the re-app abuse didn't exist, do you think you'd be more okay with re-ups?
No, just because like, I mean, I don't know, just because like.
I mean, this is a topic that
Because
comes
I'm
up all the
poor,
time
I guess.
with
I mean,
everyone.
I'll be okay if I was a millionaire and like if like re-apps wasn't anything, but like to the average person, you know, like they have to spend like $600-900 minimum if they kind of want to compete, you know.
So do you think that
sorry.
re-apps should never exist, or do you think they should
No.
exist in a different capacity?
I think re-apps are okay from like a business perspective, but like for me personally, it's just
I wonder.
just me personally.
I wonder if they regret the re-apps. Like, I mean, of course they made a lot of money on it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they
no.
don't
No.
I
don't
know, but like for the
regret it.
longevity. No.
$1 billion
That's
business.
rare as
Well,
double mark.
well, hear me out first. I
Yeah.
wonder if they regret the re-apps in terms of longevity of the game and actually doing something more competitive with it. Like if they had only made it like the way that ancient re-apps are, nobody would have an issue
Yes.
with it. And it would be definitely more competitive, right? Because you can't have
Yes.
the best of
Yeah.
both worlds, right? But the other world is the more competitive side.
It,
And it
it
would've
should
been
be
okay.
rare like Devilmons, right?
The return statement
I
for
agree.
it would be more like more people would play. There would also be a lot of people who don't want to play because they would still feel gated by progression, right? One of the big factors of playing this game is people enjoy the gambling aspect, which is the luck factor, right? Re-apps are gambling, basically.
Big.
People like that. People like being able to see those crazy, insane runes, right? People don't like buying rune packs nearly as much as they like buying
Is it fair to say though that some of the players that are the top of the top though have not spent that much though and have not really bought all the re-apps? But I don't think it's impossible.
There's a luck factor to it.
Yeah, so I feel like the luck factor is actually the most important, which we talked about last week with Wycuz. Because you
I
could be
think the
buying
time
all the
investment
re-apps. You could be
factor-
spending like
But
5K
that's
a month and
rare.
get nothing,
That's
right?
very true.
Yeah.
That's
The
rare.
time
though.
investment factor as well. Like all those players who are in the top
Right.
did get lucky and have also been playing for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
true. So that's the tough thing,
Also,
right?
it's
Because
the
when it
difference
comes down
between,
when it
like,
comes
the
down to
light or
the
dark unit you get, like you could get a Cilio or Viva Chills, like
Right.
heaven and hell, you know.
So when it comes down to the game, though, I think always the biggest argument or the biggest throwback is when people always say like, "Oh, it's so heavily gated to be the best. You need to be able to spend X amount to be the best. I can never be the best." But why is that the stigma, or why is that the reason you want to play the game? Like, can you not play it and spend enough just to be competitive or enjoy the game for what it is? Why do you have to be the best or at the top? Right. This is something that I always talked about. I don't.
You
really
don't
understand.
have to. I mean, you don't have to. Each person is each individual is different. Some
Right.
people has a mindset of super competitive and want to be the best. If they're not the best, they're gonna fucking cry. If there's a lot of people that just play casual, like they just want to have fun, do their own thing in the game, like have their own goals, completely different from everybody else. Some games just play for social. Yeah, everybody's different. There's a small percentage of people that are just a little bit competitive, and yeah.
Right. So when
me
it
a
comes
little
to my
bit,
next statement, then, if you want to be the best, isn't it the wrong idea to play mobile games then? Because if you want to be the best, truly, there is pretty much almost no mobile game out there that you're gonna play to be the number one. That's not shouldn't be your
telling you
mentality.
this.
If you
I'm
want to
telling you
be,
this
if you
as
want
a-
to be number one, go play CS:GO or League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
Why are we
I'm telling you
picking
this
mobile
as a-
games?
Here's
Wait,
the
let me
difference.
as a
finish
life-
here. But why are we picking mobile games and then after that ranting on it to be the number one when it's mobile
telling
games?
you
We
this
already
as
know,
a life
right? I don't understand
lesson.
that.
I'll tell you this as a life lesson. In life, you don't have to be the best. The only person you have to be better is the version you are of yourself today, right? So like, as long like when I go into the competitions, win or lose, the most important thing is like I get better and I improve in my Summoner's War play. Of course, the money's there, the friends are there, but come on, let's be real, man. You don't play Summoner's War to make friends. I haven't made much friends from being in the
What?
competition.
I
I
play
can make
Summoner's War to
friends.
make friends.
I can make
there are
friends with them
people-
without competing, and friends, money, whatever it is, it's true. You just want to be a better version. You want to be a better player. So don't try to shoot for the top. Just try to be better, Like, let's just say, like, even if I was to lose, like, in the preliminaries or group stage, it doesn't matter because win or lose, I feel like I'm going to improve from that. And that's a win in my book. You feel me?
I think that's why Summoners War does so good is because they focus on the community and they focus on making it a better a better area for the game for the general public that play this game, not the top of the tippity top 1%. I think that's what actually keeps the game alive is because of that. But the thing is that all the time, the biggest rants or the biggest discussions is always about how pay to win it is.
But
why is that
but
the
you don't
biggest
know,
discussion
like
when it's the
when the
smallest
rant,
percentage,
when those
right?
people that rant, they're miserable because they want to compete with better people. There's always going to be a better
Right.
player.
It's just that
Right?
natural
They're
instinct,
miserable.
right? The natural
Yes.
competitive instinct that kicks in. I get it.
Yeah.
True.
Sorry, Tyler. What were you going to say?
Go ahead, Tyler.
I just like wanted to.
The reason people will try to be the very best in a mobile game compared to something else is because the game doesn't focus on skill as a requirement. It's not like the number one requirement. is skill.
But
right?
that being
It's-
said, and
it's
you know that,
investment
then
in money.
it's like they're signing up for something that they know that is more RNG based, where somebody can spend more than
Because
them, and
people-
then crying after. It's just human nature. Is that what you're trying to say? Then I guess
It's because people value instant gratification, and mobile
Mm.
games provide a lot of instant gratification,
Yeah.
Hmm,
right?
true.
Mobile games basically thrive on giving people instant gratification. That's why they make money.
Right. I feel like this discussion right now, a lot of people that, we make it sound like it's common sense or so simple, but a lot of people in the community, I just want to always say this and make it clear that they just, I feel like some people don't actually realize this. You know what I mean? And they get upset
Well,
about the game and things. And
It's easier to be ignorant about it, right? Because then it doesn't
That's the
you
best
don't
way.
feel bad.
Yeah.
You don't feel bad about it, right?
True.
I mean, we've all spent our fair share of time, money, etc. There are definitely times where we've been frustrated with games, and I'm sure some of us have regretted either a little bit or a lot of like what we've done or spent and time, etc. But at the end of the day, like, it just is what it is. If you accept it, you can move on.
Right.
Well, I could say that because I was like one game away from $80,000, right? $100,000.
You mean one
And
pick
I
away.
was surrounded.
One pick away, right? Because you pick egg,
Yeah.
which was
ban,
dead.
I was
one
surrounded
ban
by-
away.
Yeah, one ban
I was
away.
surrounded by personalities of all
Ban away.
sorts.
Roasting his
you know?
ass here.
I was surrounded by personality of all sorts, and I met people
Right.
that when they lose, they get really angry and they tilt and they just hate their life. And I'm surrounded by people kind of like like Judas. He's one of those cool people. Like win or lose, it was just experience for him to make himself better. So hopefully, whoever makes it to the next SWC or next tournament or competition, as long as you're there, you're getting better. Win or lose, that's all that matters. Not really the friends, not really the money. Not really the game itself, but just being a better version of yourself,
So is that what kind of like pushed you away a little bit for? Is the gap? Is like the continued gap to have to buy reapps to stay competitive? Because I know you're a competitive player. You're a smart player and you're super competitive. I know that. We played Apex. We played a bunch of games together. I've known you for a while, so I know you're very competitive. Is that the biggest reason?
Probably. Let me think. Yeah, I mean, just the gap between, just making like everybody, like separating the community almost like of the pay to win and the casuals, because it just becomes like completely kind of a different.
But you had really
ballgame.
powerful accounts to play with, Flaw.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I think it was just. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was a balanced game anymore. Like,
That
So
cannot
Flaw,
be
I
the
think I-
reason because Flaw had really powerful
He had
accounts
really
to
good-
mess with.
Yeah.
True.
I had Vix and I had mine. I had
Yeah,
a
your
few
account
other-
was pretty strong as well. I mean, I
Both,
think
both
you're
of those
still-
accounts were really strong.
I mean, even
Yeah.
your account,
Agreed.
not buying reapps every month, your account, I think your account's still G3. If you
Agreed.
did the
Oh,
actual
for sure.
RTAs. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could still
I
be
mean-
G3 without doing that. I mean, in the position that you were at already, technically.
But Highlander just brought it to another level as well. But yeah,
Mm.
dude, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so going back to the go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry, just to bring out something that Thompson said actually earlier. He said, at the tournament, I know people who get like really, really mad when they lose. Brian, did you get the chance to see the Ninja tweet from a couple weeks ago?
Oh yeah.
Ninja tweeted
yeah,
something
go
out that
talk
was
about
like
it. I saw
super
that.
controversial, and he said, the phrase "it's just a game" is a weak mindset. You're okay with what happened, losing imperfection of a craft. When you stop getting angry after losing, you've lost twice. There's always something to learn, and there's always room for improvement. Never settle. It
That's
just
not
reminded me
true.
of that, and I
That-
think
I totally
I
disagree
agree.
with
I don't.
that. No, I know
I
it's
totally
from Ninja,
disagree
but
with it too.
let me change everyone's mentality right now and stop it dead at a track, right? So my life, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. One of the biggest mistakes I make in my life was
The ban.
when I'm
right?
lifting.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Sorry, my
Shut
bad.
up, Brian.
Whoa, Brian.
Oh,
That was
no,
toxic.
I'm being serious right
So
now, though.
bad.
Okay,
Like one of the
go
biggest
ahead.
mistakes I made in my life was when I was first started
Oh, shit,
lifting.
it's deep. My bad.
Whenever I try to lift, I need to be angry and intense to lift, especially if I lift heavy. Everyone knows I love working out, right? And it's actually like you can't lift angry because I found out I started bringing that into my life. Like I have to be like angry to do something that I like. Imagine I'm playing basketball where I'm talking to my dad or just my friends and family. Like you can't lift angry, right? You kind of feel what I mean? Because you're gonna bring that into your life.
Mhm.
So imagine losing a game. You're losing a game, you get angry. You're just used to that intensity. Like, oh, I'm so angry if I lose a game. You're going to bring that into your life, and that's very toxic. What you have to do is you don't bring into your life. You don't lift angry. What you have to do is you lift, or whatever you do it in the present. You focus on what you have to do right then and there.
Damn,
you guys understand me or no?
Why is Thompson?
I'm just saying, like, jokes aside, I know we always joke. You can say whatever you want to me too. I know we always joke around, Brian, but yeah, I'm really big on that. So whatever Ninja said about, like, oh, if you lose anger, change that mindset. Just like everybody that plays Summoner's War, just listen to me right now and you'll be okay. You'll live a happier life.
It's true. I mean, I've always been,
because I made those mistakes too, man. Like when I'm benching, when I'm squatting, I need to be fucking angry, to lift, right? But yeah, that's the wrong mindset.
I mean, when I used to go to the gym back in the day, I mean, I wasn't really angry. I mean, I've always had the positive mindset, right? I mean, you always hear it. People always already know, right? I always try to spread as much positive vibes as I can from day one, right? Whether people liked it or not, whether people believed it or not, whether people thought it was real or fake or not, I radiate that all day, every day.
Well, I mean, like, it's proven that when you're more angrier, when you're doing something, you get, like, you can lift,
but
like,
you don't have to do it angry. You don't have to do it
angry. It's often because you get angry over, like, because you get frustrated, and it's because you're passionate. They're kind of closely related. They're not the same, and they're not mutually exclusive either, right? What's important is to be passionate about what you do, not to always necessarily associated with anger, right? When you can't do something or you need, like, that extra push, people get frustrated, and because they're passionate about it, they channel that frustration into making
anger is toxicity. It's like once you have it, it consumes you. It's addictive.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah. Right. Coming back into this discussion, I like this actually. Maybe we should do some more topics on this in the future. I mean,
oh man, sorry, I just ranted, man.
No, seriously, no. Like we should talk about things like life things in the future. You know what I mean?
But you see that with me on stage, man. I got my ass whooped. I got my ass handed to me on stage by Dreams Joseph. People kick my ass all the time. Less what my ass, right? And whatever it is, this is my personality. I'm still the same, Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, we'll do some more topics on this in the future. I like this. I always talk about this all the time on stream, and I think being able to talk about this, preach this, and share it with the community definitely radiates and spreads it. So it's good.
Hopefully.
Back to the topics a little bit here about Calibria. Is there any other factors that you like about Calibria, Fall, that maybe we could suggest into Summoner's War?
Oh yeah, sorry, that went real south, huh?
It's okay. That's what this podcast is all about, man. This is not a school lesson or whatnot. It can branch out any other way you guys want. I don't care. Yeah.
No, that was good. What you talked about, Thompson. That was really good. Because I'm gonna add a little bit more to what Thompson said. I mean, I completely agree with everything Thompson said. And it's all about, like, accepting, like, the situation and, like, what can you do or not do about it, and, like, just be in the present, be calm, and just kind of think about it. If you're angry, you can't process it, you can't think, you can't move forward. It's all about accepting and then just being calm and moving forward. But yeah, all right, back to Calibria. See, there is a really, really cool system called Sanctify or Sanctification, whatever, which is when you summon, like, a dupe nat 5 or, like, any kind of dupe unit, once your main unit is max skilled, you can sack your dupe into it, and you get perks for your unit, like 50% HP with, like, 50% less damage to dots, or like,
does it stack?
No, just once.
But does that feel slightly pay to win, though, to try to get that dupe to be able to
no, not at all. Just look at Summoners War, how many dupes you have, how many dupes everybody has.
But you still have to get the dupe, right? How many nat 5s are there in Calibria approximately? Right now we have like
there's
70 in Summoners War.
There's not many. There's like 20. I'm 30. I mean,
okay, it's a smaller pool for now.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
I mean, realistically, how easy is it for completely free to play players to obtain dupes of nat 5s?
Pretty easy. Like, there's some free to play players that might play for 5 days. It might have like 5.
Oh, I heard the rates are 2 times Summoners War, right?
Yeah,
it's 2
which
times better than Summoners War.
Which I completely disagree with too. But yeah, I mean,
you disagree with the rates?
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with like how they do it, because I think the rates should be, because I mean, how I would like it is more summonings with lesser, like percentages.
So
Just
basically,
because
Summoners War then.
summonings are
Giving
Because
you
everyone
more,
gets
giving you
that.
more opportunities, but keep the rate a little bit lower.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that system is kind of similar to what I talked about in my like when I play Summers War, how I something
You cut out right there. You still cut out. I
the
haven't heard you.
type
Whatever you just
unit that
said,
you
you just
have,
cut
like
out. You just cut
from
out. You just cut out the
HP.
last like five seconds.
Okay,
You gotta repeat that. Go ahead.
testing,
You're good.
testing. Okay, so I talked about this many times on my Summers War streams, which is something that I wish Summers War would kind of implement in some kind of way. So it's to uh, be able to change the type of unit that you have, like from HP to like defense or HP to attack, or like for example, change a punk back from HP to attack, or change that kind of stuff. And so this sanctification kind of does that in a way of you being able to shift the stats a little bit to what you want them to do in a way for the function that you want them to do. So something like that.
I like that idea because like in Summoners War, the monsters are all wrong. Like the awakening stats or the class support HP, it's all messed up.
Yeah, there's
I don't
some
even pay attention to
perks.
that. I always forget they exist.
Yeah.
Like typings on units, support, HP type, attack type.
See,
Like how some units awaken to resistance, I'm like, oh my god, or critical rate. It's just like, why?
Yeah, those awakenings are kind of weird.
Mm.
The types of the units are kind of weird too. Like for example, Fawcett Punk back, but they have
Yeah.
kind of compensated and fixed that by making sure that the multipliers are nutty for them. Because if the multipliers were the same like for Punk back and he was an attack type, that'd actually be kind of insane. I'm just gonna straight up put it there. It'd be kind of
Oh, yeah.
insane, right? So
I
they kind of
agree.
balanced it kind of weird, right? Why not just make it an attack type and then have like normal, multipliers or something like that, right? It would just make more sense. But I'm not sure. Yeah, it's kind of strange. So it's very interesting. Any other factors of Calibria that are good? I like to hear these because these are good suggestions. And I mean, I know CompToUs listens and watches these. So I mean, getting the insight from you that's been playing a while is good, right?
Oh man, there's this something else that I wanted Summersworth to do too was a TOA that goes on almost infinity, but like you have in different routes, like the same way as like the Guild War dungeon. I mean the Guild War
The Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
dungeon.
Hard
Yeah.
choice.
Yep, almost the same thing as that, but it goes down forever, and there's like a ranking system, and like almost like TOA, but with like good enough rewards that can compensate the crystals or the energies that you spend on it too. So just in this game we have TOA that goes up to stage 500,
Oh.
so it's gonna be pretty
Does it reset
fun.
monthly?
Yo, Fwa, you
Yeah.
are a genius, man. They do that in the game called Path of Exile, and it's
Yep,
just strictly PvE,
Yep, exactly.
and they just do
Yeah.
that all day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like that would be
really?
awesome for Summers War. Like because I fucking love the Summers War turn orders. I mean just the Summers War gameplay, everything, but with that kind of concept too would be awesome.
I would not even do PvP anymore if they had that.
Yep.
I'll just do PvE all day.
I would freaking love
Interesting.
that.
And you just farm,
Yeah.
you just farming material or something like that from it, or what?
Yeah, farm maps
Yep.
and then open maps and then keep clearing dungeons is
So-
really fun.
Does the Calibria TOA have a reset on it?
They have the normal TOA. It resets every 15 days, every 2 weeks, and they have that TOA 500 where it doesn't reset right now. I don't know what they're gonna do to it, but yeah, you get a lot of stuff from it, like maximum energy +3, maximum, like a bunch of different stuff that you can tech. There's like a tech tree system that you could kind of build to that's in there that affects your units.
That would be
So,
cool. Like,
it's pretty nice.
Like, you know how we've been always asking for TOA hell? We get something like that, but in the
Yeah.
form of like a 1 year. It resets once a year, and it's like
No.
stage whatever
1
1 through
year.
500 though, like you're saying, right? Because it takes a while to do it,
It's like
and it shouldn't be
3
easy to do
months
it.
is good.
Oh,
No,
three-
it's
Yeah.
good.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
one
I say
year.
once
It's
a
like
year.
ladders, man.
I'm saying once a year because you want good rewards. If you want good rewards, 3 months is too much, dude. Right? A 500 stage that gives rewards. How you gonna be able to give out that 4 times a year, dude? That's
1
so
year
much
I'm not
fun.
doing
I-
it, man.
I don't think that you need to give out any kind of rewards like that. I think
Oh.
that like you get the rewards during doing it, and like there'll just be like a scoreboard of like who's at the
Oh,
top.
How far
or,
you get,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
And-
ladder.
there-
so
doesn't
no
have to be
big
any rewards.
No big rewards,
Yeah.
just enough to kind of like let you kind of do it. Maybe some energy or mana, but
Ooh.
like more of a progression
Maybe, yeah.
kind of thing, like a challenge for yourself, right? How
I
fast
don't
and how far you can get.
bosses. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
To add on to what Foss said with that, like the reason you can't have these crazy big rewards is because if you make it too valuable, you take away from the idea of like needing runes and farming runes, right? You take too much of time away from like the core aspect
No,
of the game.
you're farming runes in it too, because like
Yeah.
maybe like every 10 stages you're getting like a guaranteed purple rune with like 10% chance of legendary or something like that, like stuff like that. So
That's not
so
a bad idea, like a rune box or something.
it compensates perfectly to the amount that you're farming, also like a good balance. Like so whatever you want to do, you spend your crystals or energy on that and it'll compensate the same amount, you know.
Sounds like Abyss from E7. You know how you can do only like, well, when I tried it was like 3 attempts or 3 stages per day.
Yeah,
3 stages per day.
that
you
thing
can
doesn't
buy-
reset
Yeah.
though. That thing doesn't reset, unfortunately.
10 more stages this week, Brian.
Oh yeah, 10 more stages come out for it this week, but it doesn't reset. So when you clear it, you're done. It doesn't. Abyss doesn't. let
And then
go
you
back.
you get free daily resources from it every day.
Yeah. Okay, that would be interesting to see a hell stage. There's something about in terms of going back to the summons of the system, some kind of re-rolling system, right? You summon a LD4,
Yeah.
you want to re-roll it, you can re-roll it with like some
Yep,
kind of resource.
Yeah, so each time that you summon a mystical scroll, you get like one currency of this whatever crystal, and then you need 300 to convert your Nat 5 to a different Nat 5. For LD, it's the same thing. So it's like 3.
Is it a guaranteed choice or is it like a random conversion?
No, it's a random conversion to whatever Nat, like you convert Nat 4 to a different Nat 4, and you could keep the Nat 4 or just keep your old one or change it to a new one. Same thing
like
LD Nat 4s.
back blessing almost.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Except in blessings, it's more pay to win because now you have to spend another, on average, 400 to get another Nat 5, right? So this takes that aspect out. You spend X amount, you will get to just roll and change it, right? You don't get the blessing and have to summon another Nat 5, right?
Yep.
So it's a little bit easier on getting Nat 5s and the units you want then in that aspect, which could be a good or a bad thing, right? Especially for the long run. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So overall in this game, I mean, it seems you really like it, but I don't know. I feel like I've been telling my community, at least for Calibria, that I don't really like it. I'll be straight up honest. I don't really like it because it just seems like such a blatant like cash grab. You know, I don't like that.
Yep.
Right? I want a game to be like, hey, I want money, but I'm gonna try to make this game and improve it. Not I'm gonna make it and just try to make money and like make more servers and try to get more people to spend. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
I agree with you. I think it's like 85% chance that it's a cash grab, like a really high percent chance,
Right.
and like 50% chance that the developers want to improve everything and make it great for the community and want to build this game up, and 50% chance of that, 85% chance that they're just cash grabbing you and all this stuff. And
Right. But I know why people get into it, right? I know why you enjoyed it. It's just because that feeling of being able to start over, right? Like a fresh Summoners War without re-apps, like you said, right? So it makes sense.
pretty
Right?
much.
So I see why you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Like if you're too invested in Summoners War, like it's dumb to play a new game. But if you're, but this is a pretty good game.
Okay.
Like if Summoners War started and this game started at the same time, like I think that it'll be this game would pretty much kill Summoners War like at the beginning, but I mean
Kind of unfair to say that though. 'cause, like,
yeah, no,
learned
because
so much from it, right?
they learned so much and they copy so much and they took so much of the success. I agree.
I'll say this. It's like you never asked me for my opinion about these kind of things because you know I don't play any other game other than Summoners War, and I don't because like, well, Molly just said over there, my wife won't let me. But the truth is, like, I only have a very
That's a good reason.
not only have a very addictive personality, but also like I see it this way. Like, why I'm very athletic. How come I only play basketball and I don't play football? You know, your body could only let you do one thing. Like if I'm playing basketball, my body cannot do football and basketball and baseball. You feel me? So your body and your mind's kind of similar in that way, where if you're playing like a game, it's hard to play like 5 different games at the same time if you want to be good at all of them, right? So like
Yeah.
I'm the
I
same
guess
way.
what everybody's saying, what you could convey from it is that if you want to play Calibria, just play Calibria. Focus on that game. If you want to play Summoner's War, play Summoner's War. Focus on that game, you know? But if you're gonna like double dab and play 6 other games, it's tough, you know? It's tough to
Dude,
it's not
Thompson.
fun.
Dude,
What's up?
Thompson, like people are different though. Like, cause that's how I am. I mean, you're kind of like how I am.
Oh.
I can't focus on like 2-3 different things at once. Like, but there's a lot of other people that can do that, like
people get bored.
multitask.
Some
Yeah,
people
but
get
you only
really
have
bored.
one brain. You know what I mean? You only have one body. It's like me playing football and basketball. Yes, I could do that, but for 1 day, for 2 days, for 3 months, I could do that. For
Yeah,
a
I mean-
year? Hell no.
I mean, you have
Thompson,
one body,
you're
but
competitive.
they have 3 devices.
I think one other
But
big
that's what
factor
I'm
that we
saying.
kind of
Like, even with
forget.
3 devices, like you only that's another thing. There's no such thing as multitasking, right? If you're looking at YouTube and you're playing the game, you're not playing the game. You're looking at YouTube.
That's where
and vice
Autofarms
versa.
comes in. That's where Autofarm
Oh,
comes
which
in.
we will talk
So-
about as well. Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
the big
what it
factor
is.
we're
missing
This
for
is-
this-
this is my take on it,
Exactly.
and I'm just trying to share it with everybody.
The big factor we're missing for this specific conversation is that a lot of like we all spend money on the game. We've all spent a fair amount of money on the game to play the game a lot,
Mhm.
right? But there are a ton of players, I mean a ton of players, who can only play the game so much, right? They play with all the free resources they get,
This is true.
and then they hop onto another game and play that. That's where most of the players come. That's why most players play more than one game.
That's
It's
true.
'cause
I think
they
about
just-
that.
They don't have the resources to play one game indefinitely like some of us do.
Some people get bored too.
That's
Like some people
true.
just
Yeah.
like they play one game and they only can play it so long they get bored, so they want to play something else. You know what I mean? It's just different personality types, for sure.
Some people just like the variety, get all the different taste of things,
Yeah.
and it comes down to, I think, Thompson. One thing I wanted to ask you about, like, because your mindset is very straight on like certain things, right? Is it
Yeah.
because are you competitive by nature?
I don't think so.
I think so.
I'm
I think
competitive
so.
with myself.
You want the true definition of Thompson? He's hyper competitive by nature, but always is modest. That's it.
Whereas you'll get some people
That's
where
what-
You
they'll
can be
totally
competitive, but
different.
you can still be down to earth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You still be down
he's just
to
modest.
earth.
He's
because
just
you're
modest.
competitive, you're not like a good person or anything. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
just being competitive by nature is fine. There's
But-
nothing wrong with that.
The only
Everyone
reason I
uses-
mentioned
utilizes
that, yeah.
You're saying I'm not a good person, Lucky?
The only reason why I say that is because I can relate, because I used to be very competitive through sports, and it requires a sense of like a different sense of focus towards trying to become better at those sports, right? Some people don't have that same mindset when it comes to other activities, and I can relate to, you know, my brother, for example, used to be very competitive in sports, very casual when it came to games. So he used to play a whole variety of games and get like, he's naturally talented at playing them, so he'd progress pretty quickly. But he was never really into it. You know what I mean? So he liked the variety aspect, but was never really competitive. Does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense because imagine like I like a variety of games as well. So I pick
you
up
don't.
Street Fighter for 1 day.
No, you don't.
And I play Street Fighter. I'm like, oh my god! Like I'll practice same combo over and over. I'm like, I hate Street Fighter because I suck at this game.
Are you still
But-
summoning summon? Are you still playing summoners or in the background?
100% with his left toe. His left toenail's
But
clicking
like,
replay.
you know what I'm saying?
So the big mindset difference there, Thompson, is like you
You
like
guys
the
are all the
variety
same.
of different
Don't lie.
things.
You guys try to pick up like Street Fighter or something. You guys can't. Or Smash
Okay,
Brothers
okay,
because
hear me out, Thompson. You like the variety of the games, but you like to be good at things, right? So you find it difficult to have like a lot of those varieties
No,
because if you can't be
I
good
don't
at,
even
at
care
the
if
basic
I'm
level
good
of
at
all of
Street
them.
Fighter. But also, there's another resource called YouTube. I rather just watch great players play Street Fighter. I'm just like, whoa, nice, you know?
Some people just like playing the game for the game, regardless if they're good or bad at it. Right? People just like being able to do other things.
I guess, yeah. Street Fighter's
And
not so
it-
fun.
like, and we may
cool,
not be
man.
like that, but we have to acknowledge that it exists.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. All in all, this first topic was a big one. We actually got to branch out
Wait,
to a couple
speaking
of
of that
different things.
first topic, right? Rewind for a second, real quick.
Sure.
I still need to kick your ass in LOL, Brian.
You don't even play League of Legends, dude.
I still need to kick your ass in LOL.
Okay, if you
Let's go.
if you download it today for the first time ever,
I have it.
and you have
Let's
it,
go.
you're gonna challenge
go.
me in League. All right,
10
sounds good.
subs for you.
Sounds good.
10
you know
10 subs for you if
Yeah?
you if I beat you.
10 subs
Or,
for me
no,
if you beat
yeah.
me. So you want me to let you win for 10 subs?
Well,
Okay,
actually-
fuck it. Yeah, you can beat me for 10
I
subs.
actually
go.
have one
Let's
more
go.
question for Flaw, if you don't mind, Brian.
Go for it.
Yeah,
go
what's
for
up?
it.
Have you been spending in Calibria? Well, I guess I have two
Uh,
questions.
A little, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel like the amount of money put into the amount of time you can play feel? Because I know like one of the big aspects that I love about Summoners War, and I always preach this, is that like if you spend money in Summoners War for farming, you can actually play for a lot longer than most games. Most games you pay and you farm, and you can't really farm that much. But in Summoners War, you can do that a lot, or the game is just like you can farm indefinitely forever, right? So I'm curious of how Calibria kind of fits that. Like, where on the scale is it?
It's exactly the same as Summoners War, like the exact same amount of crystals that you spend on the dungeon. So it's a copy and paste of the energy and dungeon kind of system.
So the ratios are pretty similar then, and the
packs for the same value as well, like similar.
Pack is same value, but higher summoning rates.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a lot more return.
Refills the same too, like 30 crystals, like full energy and stuff like that.
You know,
Okay.
I feel like a lawsuit is coming up. I feel like Calibria is gonna get sued by Summoners War.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not
Do they? I don't even think Summoners War needs
You
to care
can,
about
right?
that. Why would
Like,
they bother?
I'll be salty as hell if I'm Summoners War. It's like, yo, man, you can't.
You can't copy all that.
If I'm Summoners, I'm suing
copyrighted.
Calibria.
I think Summoners War is too big to really care, and like they don't need to care because they got a bunch of other projects coming up too, and all that stuff.
Right.
Sure, Calibria can have whatever they want of what's left over of this Summoners War genre, but I don't know, just a thought.
I mean, they got Flaw, dude. I mean, that's a big asset.
Yeah.
I think you're very valuable, Flaw. Not lying. I think you're very valuable to any game in terms of insight, to be honest. So,
kind of want to ask Fly one question as well, backing off on what Tyler was saying. This is kind of circling back to re-apps. And I know, Fly, you mentioned that you didn't really like when re-apps were introduced. Do you like the concept of re-apps, or are you more concerned about...
I love the concept of re-apps.
Pay to win and free to play. If there was more balance between that, would you have been a lot happier about it?
Oh, yeah. Re-apps are amazing. Just to be able to sell it, and that many of it is just kind of insane from my perspective.
I think all of us actually kind of have that perspective too.
Yeah, I guess where would you say, in your opinion, would be the right balance? Would you say 1-for-1, or would you say something completely different? I'd like to know your opinion.
Depends on the perspective, right? Like from a business perspective, what Comptos did was great for business. But like from like a community perspective of like caring about the game and its growth over time, and because like you could cater to the whales, or you could cater to like the whole player base, right? So if you're catering to the whole player base, then 1-to-1, but not being able to sell that much, but being able to sell like 50 of it in 1 month, that's.
I think there's a way to do both though. Like you can cater it so that like obviously one side will benefit more, but you can make it worthwhile for both sides, right? Yeah. Like right now we have 12 to 50, so it's 62 split. It's like 25% almost, approximately, right? But if you made it like 20 to 40, or if you made it like if you made it 20 to 40 or 20 to 30, right? You can farm 20 a month, you can buy 30 a month. Your ratio.
But they're still getting that much too. They're still getting the 50 and the 12.
They are still getting more, but the free to play players also get more, so they feel their own progression.
At least it's
right?
still
And casual players will feel their own progression.
Like in a month, you get 12 free runs. It's still luck though, man. Like there's so many free to play players. It's all about the luck. Like you're paying for the chances. You're not paying for the guarantee. Yeah, I mean this is a true definition of an account that doesn't get much luck, right? So it still comes down to the luck. But I mean, I think in my perspective, I think Summoners War does a good job at the business standpoint and the community standpoint and the actual overall like wellness of the game. They do a really good job at both. And don't get enough credit for the regular wellness of the game, for the free-to-play players, the casual players, and even the casual spenders, right? So I don't know. I feel like people always complain that there's a lot of whales and the game is really pay to win, but in reality, I think they're doing a pretty good job in the way that they're handling it. Compared to, I mean, if there's the only thing to compare it to is other mobile games, right? There's nothing else to compare it to than any other mobile games. So I don't know what they want.
Getting sued. From what I've heard.
Are they doing a good job with that though? Just because I thought that is Comptos doing a good job with what you're talking about, Brian, or is it just?
I think so. My perspective on why I think they're doing a good job with it is because of all the events that they're doing. That's the big thing for me.
Oh, okay.
Like they're doing a lot of community things. They're doing a lot of community events,
Okay.
And like in the last like couple of years, they've done more events in general and given away like more resources in the game in general. Like I don't buy that many packs either. That's why I'm telling you from my perspective of not buying a whole bunch of packs. You know what I mean? I don't buy the re-apps every month. I've never bought them, like all of them, except for like when they were first released. I only buy the big value packs like Transcendent packs and stuff. I got the daily pack active sometimes, not every time too. And from that perspective, I play the game and get enough resources all the time. So like I'm viewing it from both perspectives, like business, so that they keep the game going and make money, and the player, like what I get and what I feel like I've been summoning and enjoying of the game. I don't know. So that's my
Cool.
perspective though. Right.
There are a couple other factors that kind of justify that Comtos has been doing good for the game. A big one is that they kind of revamped the whole early game. Like the early game is a lot easier.
Oh, yeah, I
They've
forgot about
changed
that.
the way fusions work. They've changed the way farmable units work in terms of like secret dungeons and stuff like that. They've added units that kind of streamline the early game process, right? Having Lauren, having Fran, all those things. It allows you to, it allows new players, people who want to start the game, to actually play the game. Obviously, the drive for them to be like competitive in the top end is really far out of reach, but they can enjoy that the game itself is actually good. Summoner's War rewards progression really well. It shows you what your time and effort pays off to be, right? You move on from place to place. It's not this do everything, do anything you want all the time kind of game, but it also allows you to do that if that's what you want, right? They're like, here's how we want you to play the game, and then it's like, go ahead and do what you want. Yeah. They've made all the like free to play content extremely accessible, and I think that itself is what Comp2Us has done that's really good for the community.
Yeah. I'm just big for the events, man. I've always been big on community. So anytime that they're investing time and resources into community stuff, that's big, dude. Right? Investing time into their content creators, that's big, right? So
yep, that's
value.
Yeah, that's real smart of them too. Like, I mean, that's like a really good business thing to do, because like the community is what really kind of helps keep the game together and like growing and like all that stuff. Because right now, Calibria, like, it's completely lacking that part where Comp2Us does a real good job with that. Yeah, like Calibria could probably die out just because of that. The lack of like bringing in community, like bringing in.
I'll tell you what. There's one of the most old school gamer me and Flaw knows really well. Why? Because I'm a G. The only reason he's still playing this game is because of the community.
Yep.
There's no other reason.
I think another thing that we kind of forget about, like being on Twitch all the time, like we're on Twitch all the time, right? Like we see the Twitch community.
Of course.
There's like a huge community outside of like this is just such a small conglomeration of the community is what we see here, and we're like a really vocal aspect of that too, right?
Yeah.
So like when we see people complaining on Twitch or like content creators complaining on Twitch, it's like, you know, it's only so relevant and so important. Not everyone feels that way.
That's why
there are a ton of players who don't feel that way.
There's so many people out there with like pitchforks all the time. Like it's like, okay, you have pitchforks. You're telling me all the things that are wrong with Summoners War, right? Why is it so easy to say all the it's so easy actually to say all the bad things, but it's hard to say the good things. And if you have bad things to say about Summoners War, tell me what other games have the good things so we can, you know, bring that in and make a change, right? That's what these podcasts are all about. That's why we always talk about these things. It's like, what sucks? Like, let's rant, but let's rant the right way. Let's figure out the right stuff and make this game better, dude. Yeah, so
and then Claw goes, no reapps, and we're like, oh fuck.
No, we live in like this society where it's like it's frowned upon to praise things. It's
it is. Just every time I say something's good, dude, everybody's like, oh, dude, they must be giving you money, dude. It's like they don't pay me. They don't tell me to say what I say. I just say what I say.
Or if you say like, I like this, you literally give your opinion. You're like, I like blank,
and it's wrong people are because you like it.
You're a fucking sellout. They pay.
What the fuck, dude?
It's like. I'm not allowed to have my own opinion on something. Thank you. Wonderful. Dude. And you don't even have to be a content creator to be treated like that. Like if you just have an opinion, people are like, no, you're wrong, because it's not a negative opinion of something.
What a world we live in now, huh?
It's like, it's scarce to see people stand up for what they believe in and what they support, because it's easier to just hide behind your keyboard and blame everything and like point fingers and be like, that sucks and this sucks and you're wrong and you're wrong. I don't know. It's really sad. It really is sad, because like people feel like you can't have opinions anymore on things.
I think that deters a lot of content creators too. It deters a lot of content creators from, you know, speaking their mind and being able to speak, you know, positively about things, right? There's a right way to talk about the things that are wrong, right? But to speak positively seems to be frowned upon, and because they don't want to get criticized, they avoid it sometimes, and they get on the bandwagon of ranting, right?
Like, what happens if you get canceled because you had like a minorly slightly disagreed opinion.
I
with
don't know,
Reddit
Tyler.
person.
The people, like at least the people on this podcast right now, and some of the other podcasts or people that stream Summoners War are pretty non-toxic and pretty positive from what I see. But I'm also not on, Twitch 24/7. But yeah,
I thought you
like Brian.
Well, so what I mean by that is like there are tons of people who.
Or now I know we're all like we don't mind speaking our mind, right?
I think most of us are pretty comfortable speaking our mind, but like it's pretty easy to think about like all the times that people come in chat and they're just like, you say something and no matter what you say, they're always going to tell you that it's wrong or they disagree with it. They never ever say anything positive about anything. They complain about things indefinitely and they never provide anything valid to a conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
you talk about reaps. You're like, man, I just got the sick reap, and the first thing they're going to say is, man, reaps ruined the game. You just got like a 27 speed rune or something. It's like your first quad roll ever. It's not even for you. It's for a viewer. And you're like really happy for them. Chat's really happy for them. And there's that one guy in chat who's just like, man, fuck reaps. They ruined the game. I can't believe you support that. It's like, I'm just happy for the guy because he's playing the game. Let him enjoy his game.
The thing is that people that say that stuff, like those negative people that say that stuff, honestly, I'm okay with it. If it's memeing, right? Like, if you're coming in, you're memeing, and you're making a joke online, okay, fuck it, dude. All right, it's a meme. But I honestly believe some of those people that say those things truly believe that. And that's where it's scary. That's where it's scary,
because they never stop saying it. They always say it every time.
Like, a meme is a meme. A joke's a joke. Fuck it, right? We say, fuck comp to us so we don't get nat files, right? Okay.
Hey, I really mean it when I say I'm going to kick your ass in LOL.
Okay, all right, dude. I'll be waiting. All right, add me up. Let's go.
So most of the time, I don't think they believe it. I think it's just like a bad habit.
Yeah.
No, it's just a bad habit of complaining and picking something to complain about. Like, and they don't even believe it. Like, I think that's like
it's become like a commonplace conversation starter to complain about things because it's easy. If you complain about something and someone agrees with you, they're more likely to just be like, oh yeah, man, that sucks. Versus like, if you're like, I really like this, people are less likely to be like, oh yeah, I like that. People who complain about things because it's easy to complain about things. It's easy to talk.
Let's see.
I'm gonna praise Summoners War real quick because you guys were talking about praising whatever.
Shit, how much was the contract that they just gave you?
Dude.
Oh shit, my bad. Sorry.
You're flying him out.
Go ahead.
To me, the best game I ever played, like Summoners War, like better than like PC games, better than like all these freaking crazy games. And yeah, Summoners War. It's so good.
Yo, Fuad, they're gonna have a celebrity Summoners War match next SWC. So you're gonna play or
really?
Okay, so
why not?
I guess maybe we could I'll bring this up later when we're done all this stuff. But we had the conversation about that Mobile Masters thing podcast.
Yeah, you're gonna do that?
I submitted a separate idea that I thought was really cool.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm just gonna turn this
now, or do you want to wait till
we'll go back to other topics after.
We're trying to wait for a Fuad response, and you just cut and said,
"Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just popped into my mind. I write it down.
We'll pop it back out.
I'll talk about it after.
Okay, yeah, pop it back out. Fuad, Summoners War again?
No comment. Just because I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
We would love to watch you play again, man. And you have a really sick account at your disposal to play.
If we all like somehow like if Comters gave everybody the exact same account, like with like the exact same units and the exact same runes, and everybody had to rune them however they want. That I'll maybe do that. But like having you in there against like somebody else, like even White Cuz, like
no, I am
like
not
White Cuz wouldn't stand a chance.
I'll tell you this right now. I am not a content creator. I'm not in there. But Brian's in there, and Tyler's in there, and maybe Lucky's in there.
They do a Mobile Masters 2, as we're saying. I hope they do that. Yeah, I hope they do that. We've been asking them for a while. I've suggested it many times
talking
already.
About it. It'll be
like
cool.
Ever since the first one, I've suggested it all the time, and they're like, oh yeah. But then it's never happened.
So there's like another suggestion that I had, which is kind of like a mobile master thing, but like people not playing with their own accounts, like some were having like a temporary 1 week account for everybody. So once they get to the event, like all the players that's involved, they are given their account that they're gonna be using for that event. It all has the exact same units and runes and everything, and everybody ruins it however they want, and then they all compete in it with it like completely fair. Like everybody, the exact same units, the exact same runes,
That'd be kind
and
of cool.
being creative.
So
That
you
would
know,
be
actually,
cool.
Taiwan did that last year, and it was before
Oh.
their SWC, with Llama and Diligent, all that other crazy stuff, I think. And it was 3-star only.
I mean,
Yeah,
but,
it was like a
but they're
mobile
still
master,
using
but
the
3-star only.
but they're still using the runes. So
They're still using
Like-
their runes, yes, but 3-star only.
That's interesting.
Whoa.
Oh, I would like to see that though. I'd like to see that.
that would be fun to see.
All right, what were you gonna
Like,
say,
not
Tyler,
Nat
on your suggestion of what you
Yeah,
submitted?
pop it
in?
back in, Tyler.
Okay, so recently I've been talking to a couple people who are like doing this charity event at the end of March, and I was kind of thinking about this tournament that Thompson was talking about in Mobile Masters and everything, and I was really interested in the idea of like doing another Mobile Masters. First of all, because I still like this game, I still stream it all the time. I would like to go, but also because I think that's a really good opportunity to do a charitable Mobile Masters stream, like a large scale tournament where every content creator can choose a charity of their choice, and we basically play to win money for the charity that we want.
That would be kind
So instead of like, because like
I'm
the last
telling
Mobile
you,
Masters was
Tyler,
basically this event.
That is a
where-
great idea, but not to shoot you down. You need the flashing lights. You need the camera. You need Make It a Bud. You need Stoic's voice. You need
Exactly,
like,
you know, but like that could be a thing,
they're
right? Like
commentating. It's commentating. Yeah,
okay, you
like
know
that
what?
could, that
You
could
know
be a
what?
thing,
That kind of sparked.
and it would be like really cool.
This kind of sparks something here.
like it
What
has. It needs the whole shebang. You know,
What if
it
we
can't just
say
be like, oh, okay, charity
No.
stream.
What if we say fuck it to comp to us and we do a little mini Mobile Masters of our own?
Well, no. This is what I'm saying. It needs like the stage. It needs the
Like why don't we
it
just
needs
rent
the-
out a place? Why don't we
The
just
camera?
Wait.
You need
Why,
to
no,
make
rent out a
wait.
place.
Why, no,
Wow,
wait,
dude.
listen. Why don't we just rent out a place? It doesn't have to be, it can be anywhere, right? We just get a normal streaming setup, which is not that hard to set up. It doesn't have to be OGN style, right? We could get Make It About there. We all know each other. Right,
Stoic-
we can be there and we can do an event,
I
and it
don't
could be
know.
a charity event of our
Stoic
own,
is
and it
expensive
doesn't
now,
have to
man.
be
He's
millions of
big
dollars, dude. It doesn't have to be millions of dollars to do it. I don't think it's that insanely expensive. Yeah, all coming together and doing it, and I would bet on it that the community will be down to support it, and we'd be able to raise money for charity and do something like that. I don't know.
I got a spot in my backyard. Let's do it.
Honestly,
Let's do it.
that is a really good idea.
It's
Yeah.
not
And
that
I'm
expensive
fairly-
to do it, dude.
I'm also fairly certain that if we pitched this idea and created like a good outline for it and logistically planned it out well, I'm almost certain that some company would sponsor it
right.
because it's for charity.
Exactly. And it could be our own thing, right? We don't need to make it official. They don't have to be dressed up crazy nice, right? We do a tournament, we do a Mobile Masters.
I don't agree with that. You have to be dressed up crazy nice. You have.
Okay, we can dress up
Okay,
really
we'll
nice.
dress up
But we
really
don't
nice,
have to
okay,
do all the
fine.
other shit, okay?
Fine, we'll dress up.
Okay, well fine, we'll dress up then, okay? Thompson.
God.
I think we could do something like that, to be honest. And
You're
I
onto
mean,
something, Brian. It's good.
yeah, I mean I think the budget doesn't have to be that crazy, to be honest, too, to be able to do it. Right?
But this all lies on if Flaw's coming back to Summoners War or not.
Flaw, would you come back for something like that?
If you guys could bring nightly gaming into it too.
Oh,
or-
Jesus.
or, like,
What?
Yo, you got to do that one yourself, man.
not sure.
Should we also get OG
No,
Bomber and
wait,
Scout as well?
you
or-
know-
he's onto something here.
Highlander, why? Because I'm a G. You name Nightly Gaming?
No,
What
no, he's onto something here because we can get
Special
sponsored
guest
by
cat
we can get
figures?
sponsored by the Bitcoin company that he's with, right?
Yo,
And then with that money,
Oh no.
BitConnect!
we got budget. We got budget.
Dude, like, we could bring Barry in. We could bring, Nightly Gaming? What, like, what?
Yo, let me just call up OMG Bomber. We get Scafetus back.
Oh, yeah.
OMG
Oh,
Bomber.
oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's relevant.
Dude, what if we did that, dude? Like
Yo,
scat
we need to
fetus
call up. We
appearance.
need to
Like,
call up
holy
Reefy and
fuck,
Aspire.
dude.
That's
Oh,
what we need.
Scat,
Do
yeah.
Reefy and Aspire.
Yeah.
God damn. Dude.
God.
You know how hard is it to, like, come up with a plan like that? It's hard to organize.
The hardest thing
it.
is the coordination. But the
Yeah,
budget,
it's
the
so
budgeting,
hard.
the budgeting can be minimalized. It doesn't have to be too crazy. If everybody's down to
No,
come
the
together and do
budgeting's hard
something.
too, man. Like, whose backyard are we gonna do that, right?
It's not that hard.
Who's commentating? Who's commentating? Who's gonna do the cameras and who's gonna do the makeup. It's crazy, man.
No, there's no makeup. It's just a stream, dude. You don't.
We
you
don't
watch- you watch big
need all that
streamers?
crazy stuff.
Yeah, the big
Who's
streamers,
gonna
they go out
trim?
and they stream all kinds of stuff. So simple. The setup is so simple, man. But if you were a more consistent streamer,
Who's
you
gonna
would
trim
know
your
these
hairy
things,
eyebrows?
right? You would know these things, right?
Shots fired.
No, Brian don't have hairy eyebrows. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying Brian's hairy eyebrow. I'm just saying who. Never mind. All right.
No,
It's not-
no, he said that if you were a more
Brian, what the
consistent
hell? They
streamer,
think you
would
have
know.
hairy eyebrows? What? Come on.
No, I think it would be something of interest. I mean,
I think it'd
we'll see if we can plan it out. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could do something in LA. You know what I mean? But honestly, right now we have to figure out the whole coronavirus thing. Nobody wants to travel and stuff like that, so we have to sit that out.
Especially to LA. Oh my god.
Like if we were to do something, I really would want to do it, but it'd have to be beginning of next year. I know it's far, but that's when it would probably be done. Because beginning of the year is the boring part of the year for some as well, right? Content is
Yo,
always
we
It's
go
the
to three,
boring
four,
part of
four.
the year for like
That's where
everything.
it's safe. We go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because then content like
Mid-
all content creator related things are always slow in January because everyone's renewing their contracts and everything. So we just like we just have a month to do whatever we want as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
we
really
can-
good idea for next year.
We're just
Yeah.
gonna do it
Yeah,
as
totally.
his backyard. He has a big backyard.
Like what like we could just pitch it and like budget. I mean, I think people in the community would donate. What do you think? Like budget to fly out Tyler to LA, budget to fly out Lucky to LA. You know what I mean? I'd rent
Whoa, just
whatever
let
just
me
to
out.
see
I
it
like
happen.
that.
You know what I mean? Just
Wow.
to see it happen.
Hello.
What?
Hi.
Budget to rent a really nice
You
suit
live
for
in fucking LA. Why do I have to fly you out to
Whoa.
LA?
No.
What the?
Fine.
Thought we're doing it in your backyard, bro. What are you talking about?
Molly's like, no.
Just kidding, Molly. We'll do it in your front yard. Okay? Yeah, your lawn.
Front yard.
Anyways, let's go back to the topics here. I think there is one more topic we can do here. We're getting, the podcast is going pretty long, but it's totally fine. This is a topic that is of interest and that people have been really talking about the last week or so. And the topic is about the auto clicker situation, right? So if you guys didn't know, there was people using auto clicker and whatnot to farm, right? What are your thoughts on this? And this segues into, do we think Contours should implement auto farming? Other games have it. Should they have it, right? These are questions that probably coming into your inbox a lot, coming into your chat a lot. Let's talk about this. Yeah, what are
I
your
think
thoughts on
so,
auto
yes.
clicker? Yeah?
I think they should add like at least 10 runs, That'd be cool.
So my question, I mean, this isn't about the auto clicker, but it's about like the auto runs that you can do in game. Like who wouldn't want auto runs in the game? Is my question. Like who
Yeah.
wouldn't want it? That's my question.
From a consumer standpoint, most people want
From
it. From a consumer that's concerned with the longevity of the game and the actual business standpoint of the game, I think it's a little bit more uncertainty on it. On wanting it.
I think I talk about this
How
every
come?
single day.
Yeah, I know. That's
How
why I
come-
want. That's
I'm
why I
just-
want to bring it here, so then people can just
It's-
boom. You'd be like, "Hey, we talked about it. Here's all the opinions. Just come here and watch it." You know what I mean?
You were there when I was ranting the other night about it, weren't
because
you?
like
Oh yeah.
from the business perspective, like things will be bad if it affects like income, right? Like money. How does auto farming stop money coming in? I mean, yeah, how does it?
Because it deters players from continuing to play because they feel like they have to spend a ton more because they have this resource. It's this fear of missing out idea. The fear of missing out idea basically forces them to say, okay, I need to be farming optimally all the time, or I'm always going to fall behind.
Yeah, it's the natural.
So what
human nature
happens
for
is
it.
if you can run while you're like asleep, for example, then it's just like,
Oh.
okay, well, I should be running all the time while I'm.
I mean, I'm
But
not
you can
talking
also
about auto
say
click. I'm talking
Contours
about auto
kind of
run.
have auto farming. It's called rune packs.
No. But it is.
Jesus
Yes,
Christ.
it's true. All right, you've been hanging out with white cuz a little bit too much, huh? You talked to him
All
just
right,
before this.
I'm just saying. It's like, hello.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah. So, do you think it'll I think the biggest worry is that, like, from my perspective of mobile games and looking at mobile games, there are a lot of mobile games out there that are starting to do auto farming more and more, right? And it's new. It's fresher. You can't say it's been out for that long. Auto farming has not really been mainstream and been out that long. But because people are pointing fingers, other games are releasing it now. I think Contours is just worried that if they release it, something bad that they don't know will happen, right? Because you don't know the future, right? They're scared because right now they're dominating, right? You'll be naive to believe that Contours is not doing very well in the mobile industry. They're doing very well. So they're scared of that, as well as paired up with the fact of there are other mobile games that they have released that may have fluked for other reasons, right? Like Skylanders and whatnot. They didn't do so well. Those had auto farming features in it. Now, that's not a direct correlation of not doing well or the game getting destroyed, but that kind of, it kind of leads you to a little bit of uncertainty, right? Hey, those games failed, or didn't do that well, but they had auto farming. Should we implement it to our game that's doing well?
There are two certainties. Nothing will come bad out of auto farming. All right, and another certainty is
that's not a certainty.
You don't know that.
That's not a certainty.
Okay, Thompson. Okay,
that's scary.
Okay,
man.
okay.
That's bold.
All right. So what if you find out a study that says that if a person auto farms, like it makes them less interested and invested into the game, because like when you are just clicking every 30 seconds, your face is in the phone in the game like every 30 seconds. But if you are taken away from that and like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then maybe you just subconsciously lose interest in the game. Like that. I mean, that could be something that happens that we don't know could possibly happen if there's auto farming too. So I don't know. There's many things that you're not really sure what could happen.
Because over time, you might be like, am I really playing the game anymore? Right now, I'm kind of just farming, and we feel like we're not playing. But now if we auto farm, are we still playing the game anymore? And then that leads people to maybe quit. I don't know. We're not sure.
I think the game's gotten to a point where like doing, for example, 5 times runs wouldn't be a bad thing to implement to the game.
It should be at least 10 times run.
Oh, hold on.
I think 10 times. So I'll explain why I say 5 times. If you think about it, go back a few years, dungeon runs on average used to be, like 40 seconds or a minute to about 2 minutes, Right. So that's twice the length of current runs at the moment. So bringing that down, now our runs are 20 to 30 seconds on average, or 30 seconds on average, we'll just say in this example. Mm-hmm. You're looking at your phone almost all the time. And personally, I feel like it's not really a healthy aspect, having to look at your phone almost all the time, because you're really having to invest a lot more time focusing on your phone. Whereas if that doubles in time, you don't really have to focus on the phone as much. So that's why I was thinking 5 times runs comes up back to a standard two and a half minute, focus on your phone. So you don't have to look at it as much. It kind of doesn't also, like, you're not really like separated from your phone enough that you lose interest in the game as well. It's trying to find the right balance of, keeping people still looking
it's not 2.5 minutes, man. I feel like the loading screen takes longer than my run.
Just throwing like random numbers out there as an example.
But the general,
there are two things.
You're predicating that on like how fast your run time is. I'm saying like 10 is pretty good because you have to refresh every 10.
I think if I was like a really big phone company, like phone game company, I would actually invest money into studying this. What
the
is
psychology of humans and interacting with mobile games is a big thing. You could make plenty of money doing this research on that. Chat, somebody on YouTube,
because
you can make some dank money right now doing research on the psychology of human interaction with mobile games. Like seriously, every aspect.
Because you can make more.
That's big.
Like imagine if like they found out that like 2 minutes and 30 seconds was the average time for a person to still stay interested in the game, and like whatever. So you could do 5 runs, like 5 auto runs, and it's perfectly okay. And they're still gonna get more money because they're spending more energy, and still stay interested in the game. So if you do 10 runs, they might lose more interest in the game and lose money over time, things like that. And if they're just having no auto runs, they're kind of losing out on a little bit of money because they're not spending that much energy as if they're doing 5 auto runs.
So there are a couple things that we brought up. I want to just respond to what Fuad just said. That study actually is there already.
Really?
And it's yes, and that's also why they create new games to test these things, right? Every successful game will create another game later on to test these other ideas and see if it works to implement it into their main game. That aside, there were 2 things that we brought up. The 2 things we brought up were would auto farming be effective in the game? And the other one was, I think it was Brian that said it, but he said other Com2uS games have come out and had auto farming and they haven't been good. I wonder like why? I think you said or something like that.
I'm saying that they had other games that didn't do good that had that aspect. I don't necessarily
so
think
they
that
were
those are
Skylanders and Alloon, right?
But I don't necessarily think those are aspects that killed the game. I'm just saying. Okay, but it's just they have a salty feeling in their mouth is what I'm saying Com2uS has. So they're not sure, right?
So they may not have been things that killed the game, but they are definitely things that actually didn't bring something to the game that Summoners War had that most games don't. This is what I brought up last weekend. We talked about this extensively for like 3 or 4 hours. But one of the biggest things in Summoners War that doesn't exist in other games is in-game chat and in-game interaction. Summoners War, there are tons and tons of players who use the in-game chat. There are tons of players who interact in the game, specifically in the game, right? Most of us, I think, use Discord or Line more predominantly than the in-game system. But if I just go into a random chat channel, there are people talking all the time. There are people who know each other really, really well from whatever their home channel is or anything, right?
Time out 1 second. There's other games that don't have chats. Games don't have chats
Yeah,
in their system.
There's a lot that have that don't even use it, and there's a lot that don't even have chats.
There's also a lot of games where they have in-game chat, but no one really uses it, right? And the thing is, Summoners War was created at a time where Discord had just been released. Lion and Kakao and those things were relevant, and Twitch wasn't really that big. And I mean, it was YouTube. You talk to people offline in YouTube videos and comments and stuff like that, or you talk to people in game or like maybe in Line. But games that come out now, it's like, why would I talk in game with people when I can talk to them on Discord? I can talk to them in streams, right? This is one of those things, like one of those really unique factors that gets kind of like overshadowed and ignored. The like forced interaction in the in-game chat, it creates a lot of investment for people.
Dude, I completely agree with you on that. Like, I was talking about that in Calibria, like, because they have a really shitty chat system. I'm just like, dude, how do they not know that that's what keeps people playing? It's the investment,
right?
it's the community, it's the relationship building in the people, and that's what keeps people in. Like,
because what you need is you need casual players. You don't need a billion whales. Like, it would be nice, but like having a huge community of casual players is what keeps a game growing, because people want to interact with each other and they want to play the game and talk about it and stuff like that, right? Like, we collectively are not what keeps the game alive. It's the people who watch our streams that play the game and spend $30 every month, or $100 every couple months. Like, those are the people that keep the game alive. They keep every game
That's
alive.
the large portion of the community that keeps alive. I mean, that's the people that you don't hear about because they're satisfied with the game. They're playing it, they're spending $5, $10, $30 a month, and they have no problem with the game. They're just playing it. They never complain.
So that's kind of my answer in response to the one thing you brought up about, these games didn't do so well. Do you think it's the auto farming? No, I don't necessarily think it's the auto.
That wasn't what I said.
Sorry, that was the gist that I got from it. Was maybe they think it's the auto farming.
Right.
I think a lot of companies overlook that, like, in the era of the games that actually have survived, it's like people were forced to interact more within the game, which caused them to be more invested in it, right?
Right.
Like, I don't talk in game chat, but I decided one day, I woke up an hour early before I had to leave, so I just like sat on my phone, opened up Summoners War, loaded into a random channel, and just talked to people for like an hour. I was like, wow, people actually really like talking in game.
You might be right.
Well,
like,
you're also a celebrity. You're there. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's like once a.
But
I have my name changed. So like no one knows who I am.
No, everyone knows you're a fluffy teddy bear or whatever.
No, but like in general, I mean, because I've tested and played a lot of mobile games out there. In general, I think Summoners War got one of the best chatting communities out of all the mobile games. I don't.
Yeah,
it might be
that's
biased
true.
to say it though, but I mean, out of what I've seen,
how there's like a category for your guild, and there's another category for like private chat, and another thing is kind of cool.
The sad thing is though,
chat,
it's not very good. I think the chatting system sucks, but it's one of the best that and the
It's the
most
best.
used out there. So I mean,
For
it's something
games,
I think
yeah.
that they can definitely improve on for sure.
Yeah,
and definitely take them to
So-
the next level. Yeah.
So I have a different theory about this topic of like why Summoners War is so successful and all the other ones kind of fail. And
Sure.
my theory is that Summoners War have a lot of let's see, like fuck you kind of moments where like when you're summoning your LDs or when you're doing a lot of things. Because like, okay, so I heard about this story about this female that divorced her husband because she was too perfect. And because like he was too perfect and there's no drama, there's no there's just no,
Everything felt scripted.
yeah, I mean, so like it just wasn't exciting, it wasn't fun. Or if they're giving like too much and there's not much fuck you kind of thing, like there's no middle finger coming at you. So Summoners War, there's a lot of fuck yous that Summoners War does to everybody that kind of makes them almost like addicted in a way. Like it's
gambling
a
aspect.
weird.
The emotions ride high and low, but there's always the potential to get really, really high on it.
Dude,
And so people become addicted to riding that potential.
dude, you know one thing that is super good that Somersworth does, that like flat stats on slot 2, 4, and 6. I bet that itself makes people like it's such a big fuck you that it keeps people in like addictive kind of.
I agree.
That's gonna be a topic for next week though. But yeah, flat stats, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's a big fuck you. Yeah, that's a big one.
Think about how many people get together sharing screenshots of flat runes and hating
All day.
Comtos
There's
together.
probably them
You know,
dudes sitting
brings
right
people
now.
together, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Have a common interest
think-
of hating Comtos and giving us flats.
I think that's something that's needed in a game for it to survive. Like the whole.
So you guys
Yeah,
heard it
getting
here.
screwed
You heard
over.
it here today. Fall supports flat 246s. So because they're never gonna change it, you can blame Fall for it.
Need that fuck you aspect.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. A bad example about the whole marriage thing, but good. I see
Yeah.
where you're coming from.
So going back to what I kind of said, just to clear it up a little bit, was what I basically said about those games that CompTOS Gameville has released that has auto farming is that they released it. It has that aspect. Like I'm gonna say again, it didn't lead to the downfall of those games, but it had that. So now when CompTOS is looking at Summoners War itself, and they're like, "Hey, should we add it in?" They're like, "Oh man, those games had it and they didn't do good." But that might not be a factor, but inside your head subconsciously, it's gonna
Definitely
be
a
in their head.
consideration.
Right? It's gonna be in their head like, shit, do we add it or what? Like, it didn't kill the other games. It was actually maybe good in those games, but those games didn't do too well. Do we add it? Like, it's gonna be lingering there is what I'm trying to say. It'll always be in their mind, of whether they should do it or not. So
I have one more thing I wanted to talk about with the like auto farming kind of thing. But before that, I want to respond to something because Ryan just said, "Is this game dying?" in chat. I don't really believe that mobile games kind of have this curve where they're dying. I think they're alive and then they just die over. Like something happens and they just die. There's no like downward. It's dying. It's like it just dies. Like if you're a mobile game, one day you're walking, next day you're on the floor. There is no. I've developed a terminal illness and I am dying slowly.
nobody realizes
you
how
just
hard-
keel over immediately if you're a mobile game.
how hard it is to make a mobile game. That's why a lot of them are like, "Oh my god, you're a Summoners War content creator? Oh, what is that? You play Summoners War? Tell me more." They want to know. Yeah, because they're always like, "How can we make our game like Summoners War? Like, how do they survive for 5 fucking years, dude? How do they still make money, dude? Like, how are they doing it? Like, we're doing the same thing they're doing. How come they doing it? Right? They want to know, dude. That's what it is.
Age-wise, it's
See-
the grandfather of some like mobile gaming.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
how
They're
old it
definitely
is,
one
yeah.
of the grandfathers out there for sure. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had no idea that it was gonna survive this long too. I bet CompTOS thought that this game's gonna die after like 3 or 4 years. What that was my theory to why like they release all the crazy re-apps and the crystals and all that stuff, because it's like the average lifespan is gonna be like 2-3 years anyways. So let's just milk as much as we can, kind of, and then make different games or make this thing for the next. I don't know. That was just a thought that
I think
probably it's not true, but
no. I think you might be onto something there. I mean, I think they're like, oh, maybe we got to make more other mobile games. That's what all the companies do, right? They make more mobile games after they made one
That's
good
what
one. But they
that's
finding
what they
that none
invested
of them
so
are
much,
doing very
right?
good, so they're like, shit, we better just invest all our resources into Summoners War because that's the gem that we got here, right? The gem,
Yeah.
Summoners War. Nothing else.
yeah,
is really
because they
working that well.
invested. Yeah, they invested a lot of resources into what's that Dragon game? I mean, Skylander. Yeah,
Skylander.
they
Yeah,
invested
and
a lot of that.
Skyloon, they
And-
did,
Yeah, and like no investment to Summoners War improvement for like that whole year or whatever. It seems like. So
One other
Yeah.
thing to do with the auto farming thing is I think a lot of people play the game and spend a lot of money on the game because they're like heavily invested in it because they look at the game all the time, right? A lot of people that play Summoners War play while they're doing their monotonous other things in their life, right? They're doing things like they're working a shitty dead end job or they're working at a gas station. And like, I'm not here to flame you for whatever life situation you're at. You know, everyone has to do what they need to do to get through things. But if you're using Summoners War as kind of like your escape, you're looking to use it so that you can distract yourself from whatever you're doing, then you're a lot more invested in the game. Like if you set it to auto run for an hour or even half an hour, you've lost that like ability to distract yourself from whatever you don't want to do right now, right? Auto farming doesn't help with that. Auto farming actually takes that away from you, right? Now that I have more effective auto farming in Epic 7, I literally just click it once, put my phone down, and check an hour later. I have way less investment in the game now because I just don't check it. I don't care.
So do we
Right.
want auto farming or do we not? What is your vote?
I think
Like,
some people want auto
I don't
farming and
know
some
what I
people
want.
don't.
Like I want it, but I don't want it because I'm scared, dude.
All right,
I don't know.
I'll make this clear. Yes to auto farming.
You like it? Okay. No
Yes.
logistics.
But-
You want it?
but-
Okay.
But think it affects
It's like, if
Thompson.
you ask me, should we
than
nerf
other people.
Antares? Yes.
Okay, all right, relax. Okay.
I would go
See-
to ×5 runs only because then you're not too distant from the game, but then you're not always actively looking at your phone. You got to find the right middle ground, and I feel like with how
I
fast
agree with the
runs
middle
are
ground,
now,
but I
you're
think
kind of
times
like
5 is not enough. Yeah.
I'm not saying that like auto farming is like the death of games. I'm not saying like
Times
auto
10.
farming is a terrible idea. I'm saying that there is a very split community on this, and I think that it's
Black and white.
okay. I think it's okay to have either side of an opinion. I personally don't think I would want auto farming in these games. And the reason that I wouldn't want auto farming is because I feel like if auto farming was implemented into games like these, it would just incentivize spending more in the game like all the time. And I don't really care to do that, right? Because right now I can invest more time than other people and still do okay versus people who can just spend money now because like the time commitment is lessened and the time value is lessened as well. So it's okay because some people prefer the shorter time investment, right? But it's literally just my perspective on it.
Okay.
I think if they add it to the game, as long as they don't make it like this ridiculous overnight thing, because that will kill the game. If you allow people to auto farm overnight, that will murder the game in like a week.
Yeah, that's
If people
talking
are
about,
able
like,
to
time
run
run.
like 800 crystals while they're sleeping, you're going to see such a huge gap between people who can spend and people who can't.
I don't think I don't think anything's talking about that. I think it's just like five auto runs is
Yeah.
like
like
just
active
what
auto
we're
runs is
talking
kind of
about.
what you're trying to mean, right? Active, the 5x, like you're saying, you're actively farming, but it's 5x runs, right?
yeah.
So like it would be great for people who have like crazy fast runs, but then like the people who have really slow runs like are starting out the game, like are they going to have any investment in the game, right?
Yeah.
Right. It comes back to that like initial investment grab, like because you're spending more time actively playing the game and looking at the game and seeing the runs and stuff like that. Like, do you lose out on that investment from newer players?
So
Right? Because newer players do grow the game quite well, and there are a lot of newer players.
so
I've had more people ask me new advice in the last like 6 months than the last like 3 years.
Yeah. So one other direction I wanted to take this discussion on auto farming is E7 used to have this particular method of auto farming where it was obtaining a resource some way somehow. Okay, just follow me here. Obtaining a resource some way somehow, and after you obtain this resource from whatever it is in the game, that allows you that many auto run like times. It'll let you auto run that amount of times using that resource one per time. Is that something that may work in Summoners War then, or why did it not work in E7, or why did they change that? For
So E7 premium currency value to amount of time spent. It's the same question that I asked Fwa with how much money do you spend to like play for X amount of time, right? E7's value on that is really low, whereas our value, well, it's technically really high. You can't play for a long period of time for how much you spend, but Summoners War is one of those games that has a very strong balance on that. You can play the game for quite a while, assuming you don't spend on premium packs for summons. So adding that kind of like auto farm to that is like, is it okay? In E7, it sucked because it didn't matter. It didn't matter that you could auto farm because it was just stupidly expensive to do it, right? If you wanted to like use the auto farming functions and push for like, 100 Wyvern 11 runs, you were still spending a ridiculous amount of either money or premium currency. Like to farm for the same amount of time I do in Summoners War as I do in Epic 7, assuming I have that one-shot Wyvern team, like
dude.
it's probably 10 times as expensive for me to
So
play.
expensive, dude.
So that like
So do
it's
you,
hard
do you
for
think
me
that
to-
the system will work in Summoners War then as a start?
So from my perspective, it's like if it's not broken, don't change it.
That's the
and I
model
think-
too.
That's how
I agree with
I
that.
think it'll be
Wholeheartedly.
hilarious if Summons War implemented 5x auto run and the game dies in 6 months or like a year. I think it'd be kind of
I think we're all
Funny.
absolutely certain that is
What?
why Comp2us doesn't do things, right? We know Comp2us has conservative approaches to things.
Very conservative.
agreed. Yeah.
But they've
I
got.
think-
I will give them credit. They've gotten better. They're a little bit faster.
I don't think
at
there's
certain
anything
things.
wrong with being
Yeah.
conservative with
Yeah,
your
they're very
approaches as
conservative.
long as you're open with it. So the thing that I've always wanted is I wanted more dev notes, right? I wanted more, hey, this is what we're thinking, just so they can get our community reaction and that understanding, right?
I agree with that.
okay. So I'm gonna talk to Thompson because I know Thompson's getting like a little bit heated. Okay, so
I'm not heated.
Oh, Okay.
I'm
Okay,
thinking
so
about something. I'm actually thinking about
Oh,
something
man.
completely off topic. Yeah.
okay, so
I'm thinking about
you
like.
and me,
Huh?
okay,
What's up?
you and me, I would want auto farming. I would
Yeah.
want it, but from the business perspective, it could. What if it could kill the game? Like so,
Yeah. Then
like
don't
we want it.
implement it if it could kill the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Because the end result is that's probably a stronger opinion for you, right, Thompson? That
I
you
was
won't want the game
actually.
to die. You
If
don't
you
want
want
something
to know
to
what
kill.
I was thinking about, I'm thinking about something totally random. I'm thinking about like how fucked up right now Conquer level RTA is right now.
Yeah, it is.
Like they need
What's
to
happening?
implement some type of reward for Conquer players to play at all.
We've
Because like all the
suggested
matches
this.
are either you win or you lose. There's no like place skill
You get
level
shit
or
on or you
whatever.
shit on somebody.
Yeah. So like I'm thinking about them moving the whole Guardian reward all the way down to Conquer and give Guardian a whole new set of reward, which could be like the auto farm ticket you've been talking about or whatever, you know. That's what I was thinking about.
Okay, you lost me there at the end, but but I mean we
Reward.
have talked about
Conquer,
rewards.
better
I mean
Conquer
we
rewards
spent 3
for
weeks talking
RTA
about
because,
rewards
like
before.
Conquer, no one cares anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a totally different topic though.
So they could enjoy the RTA, how fun it could be. Because man, I went to like the Summoners War meetup and I've never been C3. It's weird, but I cannot sympathize with what he's trying to tell me. But after he showed me, I was like, whoa, I've never played Summoners War like that, you know.
Right.
I'm telling you, they have to implement something. If they want to change the game, they have to do something about the Conquer rewards. Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
RTA. And it could change for everybody.
We'll probably bring that topic back again because like
have
I said,
to.
like
If
I said,
the game
Thompson,
wants to live and that matters, they have to. It's so important.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to cut you short, but I mean, I want to try to focus the topics a little bit so we can suggest.
Yeah,
things,
sorry,
right,
my
to
bad.
come to-
All
No,
right,
because that's a solely separate like beast on its own, dude. We can go a whole hour on that, which we have in the past. So I don't want. I want to
Cool.
stray away from that too much of a tangent there.
I have a quick question for you, Brian.
Sure.
Do you think, in terms of like, and I guess this is kind of a question for Chad as well, but like, do you think in terms of podcast topics, do you guys want us to like state what our stance is on something beforehand? So like, if when we're talking about auto farming here, I'm looking at it more from like a business perspective more than I'm looking at it from like a consumer player perspective. Like, do you want us to like state how we like where our opinions are coming from first, or do you think it matters?
No,
Because I know a lot of people like.
Go ahead.
A lot of people get confused by what we say. They're like, well, I can't believe you have that opinion. It's like, well, the reason we're saying it this way is because we are looking for the longevity of the game, right? I want to see,
Yeah.
I'm giving you the perspective of, I want the game to live because it's good for everyone.
Yeah, we always I always like it to be an open discussion, and I like it to be fresh every time. So you don't have to tell me ahead of time, but we can talk about both perspectives because it only makes sense to talk about both perspectives as a player. And if let's say you only care about the consumer player perspective, you actually should be caring about the business perspective because that actually in turn leads to the longevity of the game, which affects you as a player. Right, so both perspectives are very, very important and definitely should be addressed. And by addressing both, we're able to come up with, suggestions and solutions to things that will appease and also make sense in the eyes of Comp2Us as well, right? When they're viewing it and analyzing it. So I think it's important that we talk about both sides for sure. Yeah. So back to the auto farming thing. I mean, what's your stance on it then? Are you now changing your mind to don't fix what's not broken? Or are you changing your mind to 5x runs? Or are you changing your mind to, hey, maybe there should be a resource we can farm from other areas of the game where we can get rewarded so that there's more activity in those areas of the game so that we can use those to, farm? Now, what is your...
Are you asking me?
Yeah, sure. Just in general.
My opinion on it is like, I think as players and the podcast, it doesn't matter if we care about their business. It's none of our business. What matters is the game being fun. So as long as the game being fun, who cares about their business? Because that's their business. All we have to care about is how to make the game fun for us. So I still stand, auto farming times 10 will make the game more fun for me. And let's do that.
I
I
actually
will-
have never looked at the game like that.
I will have to
I,
respectfully
like, why would I like? Is their business how they make their money? That's fine. All I care about is how the game's gonna be fun for me.
Yeah, but if the game
I-
doesn't
I
make
don't-
money, then the
It'll be
game's
fun
gonna
for
go
me, so
down.
yeah.
I will respectfully disagree and say that
Yes.
bluntly that it's a little bit of a
Understand.
naive perspective, in my opinion.
I understand.
Right.
But as a
But, I mean,
gamer,
I
that's
know
not
what
my
you're saying.
job, you know?
I
I don't
understand
care
what you're
about
saying.
that. I have other stuff I have to care about. For me,
Right.
of course, you're more passionate. You're very into the community. You're like #1 Summer's War streamer. I get what you have to do.
Who started this?
Yeah,
Who started
man.
this? Who started this saying?
You
Fucking
are the
why
number
does
one
Summer's
streamer.
War streamer, Brian. Like,
Like, you know, I know you're saying
in.
intangibly, if their business do good, like we all benefit if they make money. I get that, but like I feel like what they should focus on is making the game fun so they can make money, not they can make money so they can make the game fun. You kind of know what I'm talking about
I get
here.
it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
The focus on making the game fun is what's most
okay,
important. That's what we should focus on, not about them making money. They could worry about that, and they need to worry about how to make the game more fun as well, not
It is-
making money.
It is unrealistically naive to look at just one side. It's actually impossible to progress through that without looking at both sides. You have to look at both. From the business side, you have to look at like how you're going to make money, and then you also have to look at the community. How is the community going to react to blame?
The best games and the games that make the most money and have like the longevity and have like the fans
Mobile
are
games
the
though.
games that
Mobile
care
games
about
though. Mobile games though. Mobile games
more
though.
fun,
Mhm.
huh?
Mobile games though. So don't be going off too far. I'm just saying. Don't
Like
be going off saying
I'll
other
give you an
games.
example. Like no, okay, mobile game. I'll give you an example. Like we all love the game when the game first came out, you know, and we are here now. A lot of you guys will just admit that okay, I'm heavily invested or blah 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 here. I got a few nat 5s here and a few nat 5s there. But the most important is the game being fun. That's how you get new people to play the game, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe in a certain sense too. It is not always our job to figure out how it is for them to make money, right? We should be focusing.
It's
like
not
you're
our
saying,
job to do any of those things, but we
True.
choose to actively do them because we are passionate about it. We know we have influence on things. We
That's why-
actively know. Everybody
why
knows
the
we have
world is
influence on
balanced.
these things. The
That's why the world is
podcast has
balanced. There's
given us
people
influence.
like you, and there's people like IslandGrown to sympathize with their business aspect, and there's people like me that don't care about how much they make and
But it's
only
not
care
just
about
about the
if the game's
business
fun.
aspect and the sympathization for that. Like
Like,
I look out for.
You're good because the world is balanced, right? You're the person that cares. I'm the person that don't. That's it. You know, I totally respect where you're coming from, and I envy you, but I don't have the time or the strength or the energy to worry about that. I just worry about is the game fun for me.
Okay,
That's
so
all.
that's your perspective. That's your perspective.
Yeah.
Right. True.
But we need people like you that worry about that kind of stuff. You know, you're heroic. You're awesome.
It's not legendary.
Right?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're just
Feels
purples,
bad.
guys. We're not even
Purple.
worth anything. We're the room you get from
I'm a
packs where you're like,
competitor. All I do is
fuck,
play the
I'm
game,
legend.
bro.
God damn it. I'm
Fuck
throwing
bro.
Post
shade.
feed cell feels bad.
I'm not trying to attack you, man. You don't have to get defeated.
I'm messing with you, man.
No, I mean, I appreciate like the kind words, and I mean, I guess what it comes down to is like I feel like people get upset that we talk about the business perspective because they feel like, and I generally just mean like chat and stuff. People feel like we care more about Comp2Us and their business than we do about them as players, and I don't think that's true. I think if anything, I think we care the most about the players. Right, we are the people that advocate for the free-to-play players. We're the people that advocate for the people who play casually. We are the people who advocate for people starting the game and continuing to play the game, which is what continues to keep the game alive. Right, we look at the business perspective of this for.
Sorry.
I just see Brian memeing on screen. I can see it.
Sorry, dude. I
distracting.
picked the worst time to do that. Your shit was so deep.
Oh man.
Whoa, we're not doing anything. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree, dude. But I mean, that's why we have
Agreed.
these podcasts where we bring in people with a lot of different mindsets and a lot of different opinions, and that's how we are able to successfully make suggestions. I mean, I 100%, you know what? I 808% believe that these podcasts over the last year or more than a year have made impacts and changes to the way, Comp2Us has been thinking and some of the updates that they've done as well. I really feel like it has made impact in that. Whether they've done things or not, they've at least heard it, right? And that influences them. So I want to continue to do these and be able to, you know, have all you guys have all your different communities, all your different peoples talking about things and bringing that all together here in all the different podcasts to improve the game. Because end of the day, we enjoy the game, right? Whether you're in my chat and you think the game is total trash, you're here for a reason, right? You took the time to be here. You took the time to watch this. So there's something in there for you, right? There's something like that you enjoy about the game. So hopefully we can work together and continue to do that moving forward. For sure.
Also, everybody has their own way of showing their contribution to this community. Like Lucky Badman here holding down the Australian fort, you know, doing what he does, streaming. Brian here doing what he does, you know, summoning people, watching his positive attitude. And Tyler, you know, your contribution to this community is like your knowledge of the game and how you are able to think for their business side of this perspective. My contribution to this community is just straight up playing the game, being a competitor, right? This is what you stream. This is what he streams. That's what he streams. So, you know, we all have different point of views.
It's really good that we're all here for that different reason.
Exactly.
We're all here for different things.
And we have Fwa coming back because we need your mind, Fwa.
I mean, Fwa's
I've been
the
trying to get
original
Fwa to
mind
come
of
back
this,
for a long
right?
time. So, yeah.
For lack of a better word, Fwa is the pioneer for a lot of the stuff in Summoner's War.
Yeah.
If you got that
We
meme,
talked about that
He
last
is a
podcast,
pioneer
right?
summoner as well because he summoned like all five pioneers.
It's
on
not
his
funny
account.
when you tell people the joke, dude. Come on, Thompson. There's an inside joke.
I don't know why
Don't
people
say
do that.
it, dude.
I don't know what's better.
I hate to say this, but Fwa's kind of ancient, man. Fwa, like people like that just started playing last year. or the
Actually,
year
yeah,
before.
Thompson's
Fwa.
right.
They
Thompson's
really
right.
got the
No one's
Fwa.
really gonna know the pioneer joke.
Yeah, maybe. The OGs will, and they would appreciate it. But yeah, at least we told them. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's definitely true.
Oh.
You are very, even to this day, Fwa, you still have influenced a lot for all of us. And
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you're streaming again, whether it's Calibria or whether it's Apex, because you're probably gonna try Apex again.
I missed the
But-
auto chest days.
I'm good. It's glad to see you in the community again. You know, so
We
whether
need
you
to
come
hurry
back to
this
Summoner's
up
War,
because Molly Beru just spoke up.
what's that?
Oh no.
We need to hurry
Why?
this up because Molly Beru just spoke up.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm in danger zone right
Gotcha,
now.
gotcha. Well, we're finishing up here, but yeah, Fwa, it's good to have you back, and hopefully we can get more of your insight moving forward, right? And whether you play Summoner's War or whatever other game out there that comes out that you might jump to, it's always nice to have your opinion, you know. So thank you
Awesome. Yeah,
guys.
thanks.
Oh yeah, any last words that you guys wanted to put out there? Yeah, very solid podcast, like an hour and a half today, so a couple minutes left here. Is there anything you want to say, Fwa or anybody else, to add to podcast today?
If no one has anything, I do. But if anyone else has anything, go first.
Molly is gonna kill you, Tyler. Slit your throat.
All right,
while
ready?
you're
Okay,
sleeping.
one minute flat. Okay, got it. Auto farming is an issue in this game. There are people who bought in the game. We know this. It's very clear. I personally, for myself, I don't like it because it's against what the game stands for and it's against what I stand for. But from a player perspective, I don't really care because there's literally no way that I can compete with spending 3,000 crystals a day anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. We know there are people who literally have script written macros and bots that farm. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It sucks. Hopefully Com2us will address it one day, but at the end of the day, it's not like one of the most significant things that's affecting the game, and I think there are other things that should be addressed first.
Right. It will catch up to them though. If you're doing something,
That was a little bit over a minute. I'm very disappointed, Tyler.
If they're scripting, if they're doing anything, it'll catch up to them in the future, anyways. And Com2us, I hope they do address it over time, for sure. But all right, that is gonna be it here for the podcast today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We had some dank topics with some of the best tangents on topics today that we've ever had on stream. Yeah,
It's usually me, my bad. I get off
it's good.
tangent.
It's good. It's very good. I'm gonna put the links to all of their Twitch channels down below. Everybody streams quite a bit. Even Fwa is now streaming once again. So I mean, Fwa doesn't care. I'm sure if you pop into a stream and talk about Summoners or whatever it is, he'll tell you about Calibria, talk about Summoners or whatever it is. Yeah. Make sure you pick his brain there. But gonna put his links down below. Fwa, Tyler, Lucky, Thompson, thank you guys for joining me today. And we'll see you guys on the next live streamer podcast. Make sure you guys leave those comments down below because we always go
Thanks
through
for
those
having
for
us.
suggestions. And last but not least, we did hit 1,000 likes.
Hurry up, Brian.
We did hit 1,000 likes,
1,000
1,000 likes, and you get shirtless Thompson. Okay, that's it.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Peace out.
You're gonna sell me out again. That's a sellout.
I'm not here next week, Brian.
All right, sounds good.
500 tank top.
Peace.
Tank Top Brian 500.
I never agreed
Thanks.
to that. 808. Okay, bye.
Thanks for
Bye,
having
bye.
us, Brian. Cheers.
I never
Peace.
agree with that. You son of a scumbag.
Hey, look, Fla's still here. What is this? What is the chances that Fla is still here? Look at that, guys. Oh, Fla, dude, the podcast's over, dude. Fla, dude, you can't go now, you know? Dude.